Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. As titled, it says people ain't paying attention because as normal, people don't want to pay attention. People don't want to listen at all. There's nothing you can do for those people directly out there. Now, I want to state before I pull this video directly up and allow it to play, it's only a few seconds, is that you're going to see two men here have their opinions. Well, due to the fact that, obviously it's a TikTok video, um, the opinion gets cut off when it deals with the first guy that you see that's in a hard hat. I want to note that I specifically gave information when it dealt with the guy who is the leader of the new Black Panther Party, or the extension of the Black Panther Party, and how it is that when I decided to look up information that anybody else can decide to look up and see what else that they can pull up, that I found some interesting things, right? One of which was that before being a activist rapper, right, up and coming rapper, artist, whatever you want to put it directly as, and he specifically has magazine articles that speak on his art and what it is that he's trying to convey and things of that nature. And I said within the video that I placed along with the live stream that the activism is secondary, right? Went directly to something else up until the rap side can, maybe do something, do some numbers. And I specifically stated before that if the rapping side became a multi-million dollar type of thing, he would have never more than likely moved into activism, because that's normally what takes place. Because usually when you have folks out here that want to do one thing that brings them a type of celebrity and popularity, and it doesn't work out, they will tend to go into something else. So he moved from being an artist, which again is limelight, popularity, celebrity type of deal. Then that didn't work out. He moved into another field, which is activism, right? So we're, again, we're going to see how this pans out when it pans out. But let's take a listen to this video and see what's going on. Shout out to Shauna, and shout out to Bushido. What is up? What is up? What is up? And good morning / good afternoon.
You see this clown here? This another clown. The new
Shut your bitch ass up. He's not the new Black Panther Party. He is an extension of the Black Panther Party. Why are you on your cell phone while you're at work? Clearly. Shut the fuck up, Goofy. You're the clown. Add some moisturizer to that fucking beard because you look weird. All right? The talk against the Black Panther Party, dismiss me with that shit. You're the clown, your beard's weird, and you're operating your cell phone during work hours. Shut up. Go tongue down your mother's beef curtains and blow your breath in the bitch face and remind her what nasty pussy smell like. I'm out.
You see this clown here?
Now, this is what I'm trying to figure out, right? So, again, we didn't even get a chance to hear what the first man was even going to state, what type of information he had, or what was his specific opinion on the guy here that is a part of the new Black Panther Party. But obviously, this older guy here decided that he wanted to pull directly up to the scene in order to defend the leader of the new Black Panther Party and offshoot, whatever it is that you want to sit up there and call it. And he came with quite a bit of anger, right? He didn't decide to come intellectually. He didn't want to educate anybody. He didn't come with any brand new profound information. He just came with straight vulgarity, which makes no type of sense directly at all. And it also leads me to think that this guy right here has a very short temper, that he would haul off and pretty much, choose violence when it deals with seeing another black man directly on the streets that, they may have a discrepancy, right? They may not see specifically eye to eye. Seems like he's really that type just by looking directly at the video, right? And it's crazy to be at the the whole thing where you want to sit up there and try to call this dude a clown because he's working, right? Obviously we know that he's doing some type of construction or whatnot, whatever, because he has a hard hat. He has a little bit of time, right? Or maybe he was getting directly off of work, who knows? And he decided to put his opinion out there and directly make a video. But this guy right here couldn't directly just stay on topic. He couldn't just do that. He had to sit up there and even bring up the guy's mother, which again is disrespectful. And I'm like, you should not have room to talk because I see quite a few items directly up there that look sort of like some Funko Pops, and I'm looking directly at your age. And I know that my, hairline is not as pristine as it should be, but I'm looking at a balding guy that is more than likely quite aged, and you got quite grays in your beard. And I'm looking at Funko Pops directly up there along with a Captain America shield. Um, Brother, realistically, just looking at that background again, this is coming from somebody I love anime, comic books, and things of that nature. You shouldn't really try to throw shots at people trying to say that people look directly weird and all these other types of things when you yourself, as an aged out man, is online complaining about another man and raging out and deciding that you didn't want to have an intellectual conversation and you want to bring up his mother. And not only did you bring up his mother, you wanted to sit up there and call her out of her name, which made no sense. And on top of that, you wanted to talk about her lower half, and then you wanted to throw some incestuous, type of comments directly in there, which means that you are also a sick-minded individual. So a lot of things here are quite questionable. You should have sat this one out. You should have 1000% sat this one out. Again, if he would have specifically came here and he would have, just broken down a few things or try to, educate, again, that would have been cool. No problem. I probably wouldn't even have done this video, but because people want to pull up to the scene and decide to do some clown type of work, that's some wild stuff. And then I'm also looking at all of the tattoos that I see there, and that reads a lot within itself. Just saying. If we're going to feed directly into stereotypes and try to just talk about people off of face value, I would dare to say, look directly at this guy and say that he more than likely made some wrong life choices. And I'm looking at a lot of tattoos, and usually when you see men that have a lot of tattoos, it's usually gang related. Some people may want to disagree with me. That is completely fine and cool to sit up there and do. But again, I'm going by how the police would normally go about it when they see people with tattoos, and how society normally looks at people with tattoos. Just saying. A lot of people need to sit this one out. It's a lot of conversations, not for a lot of people. Looking at the background, maybe you should just stay, talking about, having conversation about some Funko Pops, maybe, having some conversation about some comic books, maybe some anime, things of that nature. Because I'm also looking at the earrings that he has there too. It's like, yo, maybe that might be your style there. Maybe even gaming as well. Maybe those are conversations that you could, specifically speak directly on. This one dealing with the Black Panther Party or New Black Panther Party, whatever it is that people want to specifically call it, or whatever it is that they call themselves. Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. Like I said before, you got too much rage and anger about this for no reason. You would have thought that he was talking about your son. You didn't say it was your son. You didn't say it was a family member, somebody that saved your life. So again, all the anger that you're pushing directly out, it makes no type of sense. All the disrespect that you're giving when somebody doesn't even know who it is that you are, and nobody was talking about you or your family, again, is crazy. This is why I understand when a lot of folks out there, they sit up there and say that it's very weird to see guys out here go on such a angry defense, when it deals with other guys. I get what people are saying, because this is weird. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it's 100% weird. And I'm just going to put it into another aspect to sit up there and note that if the guy in the lower left-hand corner is a Black American male, I'm going to note also as well that this is supposedly a Black American male, and he decided to talk about a Black American woman in a negative light, which then gives validity to what Black women tend to say, where they're just clearly minding their own business. And here comes, a Black man deciding that he wants to bring them up in a random conversation and talk about them in a negative light. This is why I sit up there and say that it gets very difficult for me as a content creator to defend a lot of guys out here, because you do stupid stuff like this. I promise you, some way, somehow, there's going to be some of the Black female content creators that I've talked about on this platform. They're going to specifically just get their hands on just his response. They don't care about the original response or whatnot. Maybe they might, throw the full story in there, but they're going to make sure to highlight that this older guy decided to talk about a Black woman in a negative way, and a Black woman had nothing to do with the situation. This is what a lot of Black women be talking about. This right here. This is patient zero right here. This is what a lot of Black women be sitting up there talking about. Why? Just why? You couldn't even just simply just keep it directly on the dude. Speaking about the Black Panther Party, he was like, let me take this this opportunity to sit up there and start let me throw a black woman in there. For what? For what? And this gives validity to why it is that you got black women content creators to sit up there and say that, oh yeah, black men hate black women. This is why. Looking at this clown right here, this is exactly why. Straight clown work. Straight clown work. Can't even just simply stay on topic. Let me throw black women in there. What? Y'all make it so difficult, man. Y'all make it so difficult. Y'all make it so difficult. You know what? It'd have been different if you would have had somebody young and stupid, somebody, less like a, teenager, somebody in their early 20s. Dog, I'm pretty sure that you're nearing 50. I'm pretty sure that you're nearing 50. I'm pretty sure at this moment in time, you need to be really checking on your cholesterol. You need to be sitting up there checking on your prostate. You need to be sitting up there checking on your testosterone. There's a lot of things medically that you need to be sitting up there checking on and worried about. But you opted not to sit up there and do that this day. Good job. Good job. Good 100% job on that. That's crazy. Diabolical. But let's continue, right? Let's continue. Lord of mercy. Because originally I was going to do this a whole different way. But I'm a bit aggravated now after sitting up there watching that video for a second time. I'm a bit aggravated. So now we're going to swap it over to the other one.
Women tend to be more attractive than the average man, and that's why we all like love and adore a good makeover moment, right? Because if all it takes to take a woman from oh my god to oh my god is a little bit of makeup and a new hairdo, she was never ugly in the first place. But you can't say the same thing about men. The amount of work it takes to noticeably move a man up the attractiveness scale is astronomical. A woman can jump from a 6 to 8 in an afternoon. A man's gonna take at least a season if he's starting with a good foundation. And something else I've noticed is that even when a man takes care of himself, his good looks do not follow him into age the same way a woman's do. You could put a 70-year-old actress on the screen and have everybody lose their mind with like want, and then put her same age male counterpart on the screen and everybody be like, whose grandfather is that?
Right. So we heard that. Also, shout out to JV. Somebody said in the comment section, how old do you need to be to collect Funko Pops? There is no age limit, but the main point, let me just highlight this so you can see it, right? So this is to, R-Star. The main point that I was bringing up is that if you yourself are doing something, right, and you want to specifically have an opinion and you want to verbally, right, come at somebody with such vulgarity, right, you might want to check all of your bases, right? So again, let me just highlight this real quick.
Beard, because you look weird.
Right. So this guy here wanted to sit up there and critique somebody that is clearly at work. Right. He's clearly at work. Maybe he was just getting off. Again, we don't know what the background is. It's a green screen, right? So he could be at work on his break. He could have just gotten there, or he could be leaving. Any which way, he has the right to sit up there and record, and he's making money each, whatever way that is basically happening. This guy right here is not specifically, in a sense, doing anything, at least that we know of at this moment, that is clearly making money. Maybe he might be a content creator. I'm not sure. If he is, that's great. But the main thing that I was sitting up here saying is that if you're going to critique somebody, again, expect to be critiqued as well heavily. You're critiquing somebody that's working and you're judging them based directly off of that and then on their opinion. And then you wanted to physically judge the guy. You wanted to say that his beard is weird. How? His beard, the craziest part about this is now sitting up there going back thinking about this and having to pull back. The beard is pretty much in alignment, right? That's a fairly, I guess, okay beard or however it is that people want to sit up there and say it. When you go back to this dude here, we can clearly see that you're aged. Not sure if it's by stress, genetics, a combination of both, or whatever it is, right? And then on top of that, if I were to guess, I would potentially say that more than likely this dude possibly even has hair. If we go back to the other guy here, we can possibly see no hair directly there, right? It's a bygone civilization that was once there. It is gone like Atlantis is. It no longer exists. It was a fairy tale. Nobody has ever seen it since it was mentioned. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, people need to specifically stay directly on topic versus trying to make physical insults about another person. The moment in time that you decide that you want to really try to physically insult somebody is showing your lack of intelligence. It's showing the lack of you not being able to carry or hold an actual intelligent conversation. It shows a mass amount of immaturity, and at his age, that just should not be. For me, like I said before, I'm expecting more. I'm expecting better because I'm pretty sure that this guy is actually older than me. So again, this is pretty sad to see. And if you have younger guys out here that are paying attention to a content creator like this, yeah, it's not going to be looking too good. It's not going to be looking too good. Because again, the way that he carried himself just in that conversation, that's speaking volumes by itself in a multitude of directions, and all of which are not good at all. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's pretty much all I'm saying. When it deals with that, like I said, that's some crazy work. But going back to this lady here,
tend to be
I'm just gonna leave it right there at that screenshot. Some people who are privy to the content that I've done before, I tend to cover content where you have women like this that decide that they want to open their mouths and go directly on social media and talk crazily about men. Usually 9 times out of 10 they want to specifically talk about black men, but now they're trying to wisen up and get slick and be like, just men in general. Yeah, no, we know who it is. You're specifically talking about. You're just trying to cover your tracks. But yeah, she decided that she wanted to open her mouth and basically say that, it takes a lot of work for a man to actually be attractive. Even if he is on his P's and Q's with keeping himself directly up, if you compare a man that is like 70 and how he looks to a woman that is 70, it's a night and day difference. But the main thing that she's also highlighting is the fact that women need makeup. And again, this is not me taking shots at women that use makeup. This is not that at all. The only thing that I'm sitting up there saying is that women are judged on beauty. Um, Men are judged on hard work, ethics, what it is that they can provide and build. And maybe even how they look physically. I'm talking about like their bodies, right? We're not in a beauty competition. We never have been. So for me, it's a little bit weird how this woman can pull up to the scene and try to make it a beauty competition in between men and women. Now, if you're talking about a certain demographic of men, right, that are into a lot of other things that women do, all right, cool, no problem. But then again, you need to specify that. But that's not what she's specifically talking about, right? And if we're to try to sit up there and make this a race, then cool, no problem, or a competition, then why not highlight the difference between men and women when they actually work out? Why not do that? If you want to, try to really talk about something, like both men and women both have weight directly on them. But if you're trying to make it a race and a competition, we can sit up there and see who will lose weight the quickest. Just saying. And we can also, if you want to make it a competition, talk about the weight again and go directly to the 70s for both sides and see how that basically looks. But like I said, when you do stuff like that, people feel like, oh, you're targeting men. Women go through a lot of things that men don't understand. We have this chemical imbalance, our bodies, pregnancy, us just going through womanhood, and this. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Whatever deity that you directly believe in placed you on this field of existence and gave you the unique things such as beauty, such as looks. And if you don't have that in order to compensate for looks, this is why you have makeup to cover up a lot of those things, to cover up those imperfections, so you can try to envision and paint yourself as the ideal self-perfected version of you. But the thing that she refuses to actually mention when bringing up makeup and how it is that women can use that makeup, women have to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in order to look like their version of perfection. If a man decides that he wants to sit up there and work out and eat healthy and and things of that nature, that's going to carry him for a lifetime. It's going to carry him for a lifetime. It doesn't take hundreds. It doesn't take hundreds or thousands of dollars to sit up there and keep doing push-ups, chin-ups, and all this other type of stuff. You, as a guy, you might have to do a one-time investment to buy like some weights. And if you got a big enough house in the basement, you can build your own gym directly down there. That's a one-time lump sum payment, and that's going to be there for a lifetime. A lot of women out here have to either use makeup or they have to use cosmetic surgery. There is a clear-cut difference here. Men can deal with how it is that God placed them directly on this planet because we know what it is. It's either you got it or you don't. If you got it, then glory be to the winner, and you're going to have a lot of women chasing directly after you. And life is pretty much going to be easy because you're not going to really have to do much because you got the looks. For every other guy directly out there, you have to do something else. You got to have another talent. You got to have hard work. You got to have dedication. You got to be able to build. Right? You got to have things that women specifically out here want. Right? Because whatever it is that you're lacking, if you're lacking the looks, then you got 10 other things that you got, that will compensate directly for that. But like I said, this whole conversation to me is still crazy. And this is why I said up there say before, in a lot of instances, it's just the wrong message and the wrong messenger placing that message directly out there. Some people just should not be talking directly on these conversations realistically. And again, I'm stating this as just an average everyday guy. Average everyday guy. You have certain women out here that go to social media, they just should not be speaking on even trying to reference or call men out here ugly. Just don't do it. Just sit this one out. Talk about anything else. Talk about cosmetics, talk about fashion, gossip about some type of television show. Do whatever it is. Just don't just stop doing the whole looks thing. Just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. Like I said, it's crazy to me. It's diabolical. But obviously she has a large fandom directly out there, so this is why she keeps making this content, because women are still fluctuating and falling on every single word. So whatever. So now we're gonna take a look. I'm trying to figure out if I might do this completely backwards. Let me see. No. I'll do it a little bit backwards. So now we're going to go to the next story here.
Clock struck midnight on his 11th birthday, went looking for his Nintendo Switch gaming console, but found the keys to his dad's gun safe with the intention to shoot his father. Now, the new documents revealed that Clayton William Dietz shot 42-year-old Douglas Dietz just hours after he and Clayton's mother sang Clayton a happy birthday. Douglas and his wife actually adopted Clayton in 2018, according to court documents. Those same documents say the mother told police she went to bed shortly after singing happy birthday. Douglas went to bed not too long after. After a short while, she woke up to a bang sound. She told police she tried waking Douglas up, but there was a substantial amount of blood on his face and was unresponsive. Clayton was in the closet next to her, saying, quote, "He's dead." When police went to talk to Clayton, troopers noticed a large bruise above his left eye and a cut on his bottom lip. Clayton admitted to state police he had a good day with his parents the day before, but when his dad told him to go to bed, he got mad and told troopers, quote, he had someone in mind who he was going to shoot, whom he identified as his father, end quote. The documents say the troopers asked the 11-year-old what he thought would happen when he pulled the trigger. He answered he was just mad, and he hadn't thought about what would happen. He's now charged with criminal homicide and is being held in the Perry County Prison.
Woo! That boy is already in prison at 11 years old. He got mad because his dad told him to go to bed, and he took away his Nintendo Switch. Oh, that is wild. Now, the reason I want to bring this up is because I told people before, as a gamer that's been gaming for a very long time, and I've had conversations, been at Xbox Live parties with a variety of people. Let me just let y'all know something. There's been a variety of instances when it deals with Caucasian males online where I hear the utmost disrespectful mouths when it deals like when they're talking to their parents. Like I had to sit up there. I'm like, yo, you should like calm down. You shouldn't be talking to your parents. Like the amount of times that they sit up there and cuss their mothers directly out is like the amount of disrespect that their mothers actually take from boys like this is insane. You can hear this directly on the mic. And again, you don't even have to be on a game system just to hear this. You can be probably on Discord and hearing, the dudes directly on PC, and they're just sitting up there in the background. Like I've literally heard these Caucasian boys here threatening their parents. Like, yo, if this don't sit up there and get on my room, I'm about to sit up there and do X, Y, and Z and all this other type of stuff. Like, I'm like, yo, what is your problem? I'm like, yo, I could never. I'm like, I could never do something like that. Yeah, I couldn't even utter a thought, and I couldn't even conjure up the air to formulate fog or a smoke to lay down the foundation to then build the thought of saying or doing anything like that. I would have been slapped out of existence. It would not have happened. And again, I was never raised like that. That was never okay in at least my community. That is wild. That is 1000% wild. And I'm stating this because the craziest part is there'll be folks out there that always want to give some type of excuse. There's no excuse for this. Or there's other people that'll sit up there and talk about, but what about the black community? And this don't have nothing to do with the black community at all. Again, I'm talking about my experience from being online and gaming directly with your kids out here that you just let loose online. Again, we're not even talking about nothing else. We're just talking about the violent aspect. We're talking about the vulgarity. We're talking about the verbal attacks, or those that state that, hey, if you don't leave out of my room, or if you don't close my door, such and such and such is going to sit up there and happen. Or them blatantly disrespecting and calling their mothers directly out of their name. Again, these are factual things that have taken place and happened. You don't even technically have to take my point of view. You can go on YouTube and look at some videos. People have recorded these things happening, and you will see it specifically from one demographic that has just been out there just doing this blatantly, and it goes unchecked. And because it goes unchecked, this is how you have situations like this where you got these 11-year-olds deciding that they want to cause harm directly to their parents because the parents ain't checking them. They're just letting them like, that's just a kid. He's going through a phase, this, that, and the third. And now, the father that adopted him, he ain't no longer here. He ain't no longer here. Because obviously the parenting was not there. Like I said, I hear a lot of times how white Americans want to, talk about their population and how they're trying to, keep everything in check. Like, yo, if you really want to keep stuff in check, you better get your kids directly in check before they get you in check. Because that's clearly what I'm saying. All the father did was tell him to go to bed, and yo, I'm taking away the switch. And this is what he decided to do. That's wild. That father lost his life for clear cut, no reason at all because of some soft discipline. Didn't even sit up there and put like a belt or a switch. Didn't do none of that. It was simple. But I guess it wasn't so simple for the angry 11-year-old that saw his adoptive father, as the villain. Like, oh my God, you're the worst person on earth. You sat up there and took my switch. And he sat up there and hulked out and, decided to go get a weapon and get justice. Gave that 1-2 Alec Baldwin. Bow, bow. And that's it. I guess this is where a lot of folks want to talk about that, a lot of these kids, they get brainwashed from Call of Duty or these other shooters, these Grand Theft Autos. I guess any which way it goes, it still comes back to the point that a lot of folks out there they need to check their kids, need to check their temperament. They need to go out there and get them some therapy. Like, that's crazy. That is diabolical. Let me see what else we got directly up here. Somebody said what? Somebody said peace and blessings. Another person said even children are known by their behaviors. Somebody said, oh, you're just trolling. Okay. Rick said the father took the switch and the son grabbed the switch. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. That is diabolical. JB said, been gaming Call of Duty for years, for nearly a decade, and the folks be mouthing off big time at their parents. Yeah, yo, that's what I'm saying. That is 100% what I'm saying. And you know the craziest part is, if there was ever a point in time to talk about stuff on social media, all of the black gamers, all of the black male gamers need to come out and speak directly on this topic. Like, there will be tons of stories. They probably even know some of those dudes still to this day that have been talking so reckless to, you know, either their family or their mothers. And they were just blaring this directly online. Yo, this was inescapable when it dealt with the 360 era. Like, there, yo, during the days of modern warfare 2, 3, Ghost, right, advanced warfare, you had Battlefield 3 and whatnot. Yo, Gears of War, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the type of stuff that they would say online, and they would just act like it's normal and just brush it off. I'm like, yeah, that's not normal. I'm like, you got some problems. You got some anger problems. You need therapy. It's like, it got to certain points. I'm like, yeah, let me just get about this live. I'm like, I can't deal with this. I'm like, it's just, this dude is it just being 100% just too disrespectful right now. I'm like, I mentally can't even just deal with this. And I would just have to dip a lot of times. But yeah. Yep. That is crazy out here. Rabbit said, remember when Broly took the life of his dad Pargus after Pargus nearly lost his life trying to save? Yep. Sham was like, Call of Duty don't cause this. You said that they never regulate that child's personality and temperament. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Like I said, I done played every single shooter pretty much out here except for maybe I might have played a little bit of Counter-Strike, but never at a point in time did I ever think about like, yo, I feel a certain type of way. Let me go, show people how I feel. Nah. That's like that just it makes no sense. I'm not going to sit up there and decide to do a violent act because I feel a certain type of way or because a game system was taken away. I done had moments where either a Game Boy might have been confiscated, Game Boy Color, PlayStation. I think did the PS2 get confiscated at one point? I think maybe even the PS2 might have got confiscated. But like I said before, yeah, nah, nope. Never. That was never within my mental to sit up there and do something crazy like that. Like, that's diabolical. Let me see. Somebody said tough talk typing. I don't even know what that even means. Yo, we got Brandon V World. Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? AK Officer Haku said, good morning to all, and here comes a new challenger. What is up, man? What is up? What is up? What's up? Yeah, like, yo, I just want to make a note to a lot of folks out there. This is the key point, because I know quite a few people was in the live streams before when we went over the whole thing with the governments, the Democrats, Republicans. This again, this is what I'll be talking about. These type of folks right here, if you happen to bring stuff up, they want to portray it as like, it's only one side that does this. The other side would never do anything like this. You can't find this, in our homes or anything. We're talking about as a whole. We're talking about as a whole community, as a group. It don't matter left or right, conservative or liberal, whatever you want to sit up there and call it. It happens in general in these communities. Like, no one community is better than the other when it deals with political affiliations. Just because, like I said, this is when people start sounding like a gang. This is when people start sounding like a cult. When they want to be like, well, that's that liberal side. They that's what they do. They just lose their minds and da 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 da. Oh, all right, you got it. I'm like, you got it. You got it, right? But now let's go to the next one.
Deputies say she told him that she owed child support for their kid. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Deputies tell us the ex-boyfriend wasn't actually the child's father, but as Fox 5's Doug Evans reports, investigators learned the woman wasn't even the child's mother.
The Coweta County Sheriff's Office says it wants people to know about this scam in case there are other victims out there. It was not a good New Year's Eve for 18-year-old Bria Hardy. No, it was one to remember. Coweta County investigators took her into custody for theft by deception. Her ex-boyfriend told investigators in December that Hardy had approached him and demanded child support payments for a child she said was his. They say the victim paid out $7,000. Investigators say there was a child she'd shown in pictures, but it turns out it was neither his nor hers.
So the investigation revealed that the child was neither Miss Hardy's nor the victim's. We're asking if anyone has any information about this case to please contact investigators with the Criminal Investigation Unit.
Fraudulently requesting child support payments is not a new scam, but using someone else's child as part of it is kind of a new twist. Coweta County investigators want to make sure there are no other victims out there. And so they're asking if anyone has any dealings with Bria Hardy or knows anything about this case to give the Coweta County Sheriff's Office a call.
She owed child support for their...
So let me just freeze right there. This is something I've talked about before a great deal of many a times. And the best way I can sit up there and put this, number one, whoever the father is of the young man, respectfully, you failed him. Respectfully, you failed him. The mother of the young man, respectfully, you failed your son. Whoever is the mother of this daughter, whoever the women in the family are when it deals with this young girl, y'all all sat up there and failed. For her to sit up there and decide that she wanted to come up with this scheme, because she had to have learned this from somebody who was older. Because usually she's what, like 18, 19. Usually, respectfully speaking, people who are like 18, 19 usually are stupid. I'm just gonna case in point this story here. Usually people 18, 19 stupid. That's just how it is, respectfully speaking. Because, you know, when you're 18, 19, you really don't know much. You don't know pretty much a lot of stuff of the world. You think that you're pretty much immortal, that you're invincible, that nothing can harm you, that you're going to live forever, and that you have no consequences for your actions. And you also know the fact that if you do anything wrong, you're not really going to get charged as an adult automatically up until a certain point, and that your parents can also clean up directly after you. She came up with a bright idea to sit up here and be like, you know what? I'm going to go to one of the nicest guys that I was ever with, and I'm going to trick him into thinking that this child that I'm holding is basically ours and that I need money. She scammed almost close to $10,000 out of that young man's pockets. And I want people to sit up there and understand this. The young man, at least from what I'm gathering from the story, he didn't question. He didn't even ask for a DNA test. So he was trusting to a fault so much that he didn't even want to know if it was his or not. She said he has so much trust and belief in her that she wouldn't lie about something like this, that he automatically just started doling out money to pay for this child that she said was his. I want a lot of women to understand this is how a villain arc starts. This is how you have a lot of dudes out here not wanting to believe or trust women. He's young. And she sat up there and started scamming him of close to $10,000, stating that this is his child. Because what do we normally hear from a lot of women directly out here? Oh, you're the only person that I slept with. Why would I sit up there and lie? And why would I sit up there and be with somebody else and all this other type of stuff? Like, if you have to sit up there and get a DNA test and question and all this other stuff, like it's all of this mouth talk, all of this mouth talk. And it's nothing that is within reason and or logic, because normally when men want to question these things, women get highly emotional, women get highly defensive. There's a 1% chance that you will deal with a woman where she's not going to get defensive and or emotional if you ask for a DNA test or anything like that. And this also further proves that you have women out here that lie about everything. Not only was the child not his, the child was not even hers. And then police are trying to figure out, where did she even get the child from? How, like, where did she find the child at? Whose child did she steal? Like, yo, this is 100% one of the craziest stories that I have run into that deals with the younger generation. That's horrible. She out here snatching and stealing kids and stealing money. Lock her, just keep her in prison. Keep her in prison. Nothing is ever going to change. Keep her in prison. Keep her directly in prison. This is ridiculous. Like, whose baby did she have? Where did she get this child from? Did any of the parents realize that a child was missing? Did anybody put out a missing child's report? Like, how do you just randomly get hands on a random child? What's going on out here? And then I want to know who the parents are that was missing a child. Yo, man, I got so many questions. I got so many questions, and I have no. The main person or the main individuals I feel really sorry for, number one, for that infant child. I don't know who that child is. We don't even know who they belong to. Even the news said it. They're trying to find it out right now, which leads me to think that it's not even like a family member. Hopefully it's a friend. Hopefully it's a friend so the child can get returned. But then I have to question who the mother of that child is, and how much of the scheme did you know about? Because if she was skimming close to 10 grand directly off of this young man, I would tend to think that she was splitting it with somebody else who allowed her to, borrow that child or use that child. And then the other person that I feel deeply sorry for, and I know it's going to start a villain arc directly for him, is that young man, because he was way too trusting. He was way too trusting, and I have to sit up there and say it like this. He was very stupid in having 100% trust directly in her. It happens, quite a bit. I've sat up there and stated it myself, and I've had to sit up there and be honest, right? I've had my own instance, and I can honestly tell people I was stupid for being so trusting, 100%. So this is why, as a person with experience, I can sit up there and say, when it deals with this story, that this young man was stupid and he was way too trusting, because there was pretty much nothing stopping her from potentially putting him on actual child support and then potentially trying to get him locked. Like, people, a lot of women don't understand how this could have went so horribly wrong and how this would have followed him for a great duration of his life. He could have been jailed or imprisoned because of back child support, right? The news noted that, hey, he sat up there and gave like, seven plus directly to her. At least that was noticed. So at least somebody was keeping track of the monies. But we know that the courts are different, and sometimes, of course, they don't really care what was happening beforehand. It's about what they order, what the judgment that they basically give. If they decide to do some mathematics and be like, we don't really care about that because we don't have that directly on our records, we want you to sit up there and pay up until this point. If you can't pay up to this point, then we're going to have, we want to start to garnish wages. And if we can't, garnish wages and we can't get money from you, then we're going to sit up there and strip your driver's license. And then once we strip your driver's license, we still expect you to sit up there and pay. But knowing the fact that a man needs a driver's license in order to go to and from. So when you take the man's driver's license, you take away his ability to go to a job or to search for a job. On top of the fact, you take away the ability for a man to even pay for a proper living situation. So not only would a man not have a driver's license, he won't have a job or won't be able to look for a job. And not only that, he won't even have a stable place to sit up there and even hold his head at the moment in time. So his whole life is directly on the line when it deals with the woman and her deciding to go about these court proceedings and how much she wants, and how the system is going to go directly for that. And again, the last stop, once all three of those things are directly out, no matter how he explains this, no matter what proof he basically shows, the courts do not care. They'll be like, well, you didn't do what we told you to sit up there and do, no problem, in jail. And then they're still going to add on the fact by the month, okay, you still didn't pay this month. You were locked up for a year and you still didn't give any money. Okay, back in jail. So now he has a record. So now when he wants to sit up there and go for a job, you know how these jobs get, like, hey, sir, do you got a record? Whatever you say that you got a record, you say that you've been locked up because they ask you like, hey, what is your job? Like I said, it's screwed up all over the place. It's screwed up all over the place. Like I said, it's crazy. Like, I could try to explain this and it's just going to go in a forever circle. And the only person that is going to win at the end of the day is the mother, or better yet, for that example, it would have been her if she would have took it to that extent. Like I said, just looking at her face directly in that photo where she basically has a smirk, she does not care. That is a straight demon. She does not care who she has to hurt in order to get money. And that's the most dangerous thing to have directly out here. because she's the type that would be one step away from trying to backdoor another young man, basically meaning that she would set up a guy, meet a guy somewhere on, some app or out wherever, and then she would team up with a few other guys, and that she would bring him to this certain area, and then the guys would be waiting in the cut, and as soon as everything's comfortable, they'll sit up there, come in and rob the dude for whatever he got directly on him, right, including also his car, and they'll also take his life. I didn't cover stories just like that. So, like I said, it's crazy. It is 100% crazy. What was that? Tippy said, who's on screen? A demon. That's that's the best way I can sit up there and put it. A straight demon that you see directly to the life, who does not have a care in the world about who she has to harm in order to get money. Like I said, it's crazy work. Crazy work. Shout out to American, shout out to Soulful, shout out to Tippy, Shauna. Who else we got directly up in here? We got Sham directly in here, D Love. We got Speaks directly in here. What is up? Let me just try to go back through real quick. We got Marvin directly in here. What is up? So yeah, let me scroll back down. But yeah, that's just that's hurtful. Like I said, I feel sorry for that young dude. At this point right now, I would want that young dude to go out there and get therapy. Like I said, I wouldn't want him on a straight villainous course, and for his mind to be so warped that he thinks that all women are like this. I want him to realistically go get therapy. And obviously he's a good dude, right? Minus the stupid mistake that he did here. Obviously he's honest and he's a stand-up dude, and he is willing to sit up there and do the right thing as much as he can. And again, you do need guys out here that are great guys, right? So again, hopefully that young man would go out there and get therapy, so that he can get past this moment and be able to look forward, and not hold what specifically happened in this specific instance, and hold that directly to the rest of the young women out there, right? But like I said, it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be a very tough battle for him to work through that by himself. It's going to take a long time. Trust me. It's going to take a very long time. But anyways, now we're going to go directly to the instance of folks out here that want to use scare tactics in order to make Black Americans think that folks out here are specifically coming for them. So we're going to take a listen to this video and see what's happening.
Bro, let me tell you something. These people are not playing, yo. They're not even asking if you're a citizen. They're not asking if you had document. I'm in the African store. They broke in the people African store. They broke from the back door. I'm shopping and they just snuck behind me. They grabbed my shirt from the back, bro. They don't even care if you have documents. They're not even asking you if you're okay. They just, as soon as they know you're Black or something, they just like literally grab me from the back. I turned around, I was confused because they broke through the people back door. I was totally confused. They grabbed my hand for no reason. I'm a citizen. They don't even care, bro. They just grabbed him. The guy came in. It's like, you're not supposed to be in the store. It's a private property. I had to take my hand out of him, and they came from the back door. They're not even going through the front. They broke in the people in the African store. They broke in the back door. Like, I'm shaking right now, bro. They don't even care. Like, I'm shaking. Like, people that don't have documents, you should not be outside. They don't even care if you have documents or not. Because I'm a whole citizen. They didn't even ask me for my ID. They didn't ask no question. They just grabbed my hand.
So let me just say this before we continue. This is what I speak on quite frequently when it deals with these other folks out here that are from everywhere else. Right? She wants to like scare tactics. Like, oh, they're coming. I'm Black. I'm from here and all this. If you're Black American, then you wouldn't have to sit up there and say this. And you can hear her trying to use a stereotypical, just basic, quote unquote, Black accent or Black American accent when she's talking, so that she can try to convey and get her points through, so that people will have some type of sympathy and try to sympathize directly for her. You can hear her try to use, certain types of speech, the bro, and all this other. I'm like, just no, you're trying to fight against who it is that you are, because you're trying to hide who it is that you are. You have an accent. We know you have an accent. Speak as you would normally speak amongst your own people. Number two, you sat up there and told us that you were in an African shop. I can't even list the last time to you, as a Black American, that I was in an African shop. That was probably eons ago, realistically. At this moment in time, because realistically, there's no reason for me to sit up there and go. That point in time of being younger and being, and believing in certain types of stories and things that people will sit up there and tell you, that's a bygone era. We're living in a brand new timeline. At this moment in time, and like I told, for a lot of folks out there before, a lot of y'all wanted to say that me no black. A lot of y'all said that Africans said it. Those who are Jamaican said it. Those who are Haitian and a lot of other folks always kept saying that they are not black. They're not Black American. That they are this and they are that. Okay, yeah, cool, fine. So again, when you're dealing with these situations and you're out and about, make sure you remember when you say that, when you see those folks jumping directly out of their vehicles and their vans, and they're asking you for a passport and all this other type of stuff. Let's continue.
And then when I told them, like, why are you doing that? And then they went to the other lady. They went to the other lady in the back door and they talked to the lady. I don't have nothing. Y'all white people just keep taking people. Don't ask me for No, I don't care. They just grab me for no reason. I'm not helping no white people. Don't ask me for Yeah, they're broke in the African store. I'm just telling everybody, all the African people, I'm just telling them, y'all better lock the door. The people door was locked, and they snuck in the back. They snuck in the back, one coming from the back and one sitting in the front. Because I came in the store, they had an Iowa pick in an Iowa truck. The plate says Iowa. So they don't give a if you have documents. If you have documents, they don't give a They're just going to come and grab you. So if you don't, just stay home. I shouldn't even be in Brooklyn Park right now, bro. I've never experienced this before. They don't give a They're all in Brooklyn Park. They're just sneaking in the people's store from the back since they come. They can't come in through their front. They're sneaking in the back door. Oh my gosh. They didn't even ask me if I had documents. They didn't ask me if I'm a citizen. They just snuck me and they grabbed me from the back. They pulled my jacket from the back. They just pulled me and tried to grab my hand. And luckily, the other guy that worked there, he just came and said, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to be in here." That's when the guy took my hand from my jacket from in them. And then it went after the other lady. I guess it thought I was her. Yeah, I'm going home, Andrew. I'm not even supposed to be here. I usually don't even come over here this early morning. I cannot run the errands.
She said she wasn't even supposed to be there. Sounds like you ain't supposed to be here either. Like I said, I don't know what else to sit up and tell you. You clearly went there and you stated that you were trying to specifically tell Africans that, yo, they're out here doing X, Y, and Z. So, which leads me to think that you're more than likely African, but you're not saying that. You wanted to say that you're black. How we do that? That's not the same thing. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. Africans do not consider themselves black. Africans call themselves where it is that they are specifically from. Again, like we keep saying directly on this platform, if they're from Kenya, they are Kenyan. If they are from Ghana, they are Guyanese or from Ghana, however you want to say it. Excuse me. If they're from Nigeria, they are Nigerian. South African, they are South African. Wherever it is that you are specifically from, that's what you're going to call yourself. They don't label themselves as black. The only area specifically from what I can recollect, that referenced black was South Africa. And that's because South Africa went through the apartheid and they had racist laws. Like everything that they were doing was reflective of the United States pretty much. in South Africa. So out of the whole continent, that's pretty much the only place that would reference themselves as black, right? Because you had black, you had Chinese, you had Indian, you had white, right? So again, this is a little bit weird. You don't hear black Americans out here talking about like, yeah, I got to make sure to have my papers, I got to make sure to have my passport. No, we don't have to do that. And again, stop saying that you're black, trying to, make this whole blanketed, flat black type of thing directly out there. You are an African woman, more than likely, or a woman from somewhere else who got caught up in these ICE raids because you yourself said that you weren't even supposed to be there. So if you would have actually went with your first mind, guess what? You wouldn't have gotten caught up dealing with ICE. They wouldn't have been trying to pull you by the back of your jacket and trying to grab your wrist and all these other types of things. And now you're sitting up there driving and looking directly over your back and all this other type of stuff. That's some crazy work. You brought this directly on yourself. And again, I want to note, Black Americans specifically told people that, hey, if you vote and this is the way that you decide to vote, it is going to be on you. Even if you cannot vote and you decide to still side with that other group, everything that happens is because of you. And this is what you're looking at. You're looking at the fallout of everything that Black Americans try to sit up there and tell people. And again, I don't want things to get misconstrued because people start pulling up like, "Oh, you think that the Democrats are better?" I didn't say nothing. I didn't say none of that. You're just trying to read things directly in there so that you can try to say that you're right about whatever side that you believe in. Both sides are trash. Both sides do not care about the American people, right? But let's keep going.
Just not even supposed to be in the African store at this time. Because I was like, since I'm already in Brooklyn Park, I'm gonna just make my run so I don't have to come here later. And then that's going on. They don't give a if you they didn't even ask me, are you a citizen? Do you have documents with you? They just grabbed me. So imagine they're not even asking for nothing. And they snuck in the people back door. They didn't even come through the front. So if you own any store, African store or whatever store, you gotta just lock your back door because I don't know how they came in the back. I was in the aisle, she just came and grabbed me from the back. Man, they don't give a like. I'm scared. I know I'm rude, but I mean, I did cuss them up, but dang, I'm not that. I'm scared. I'm a punk. If you don't have your documents, you just stay home. Because even if you do or not, they don't give a they just grab you whatever. As long as they see you colored, they grabbing you. You're in an African store, they don't think if you're a citizen, they don't give a grabbing you. So stay the home. If you don't have to be outside, don't be outside. Because they just grabbed me for no reason. Grabbed me from the back. Like, had my shirt. Oh my God. I'm freaking out. I am freaking out. So the people saying walk around with your documents. So even if you're walking around with your documents, they're not asking you for your documents. So how can you walk around with your documents if they're not even asking you questions? They didn't even ask me if I have documents. They didn't even ask me. He just grabbed me.
So my question is this: remember when a lot of these folks were saying that they were highly more educated than Black Americans, and that they got this and that and all that other type of stuff? How is that going? How is that education actually helping those folks? That's my question, right? All of those businesses that people said that they got, and all of those nice cars. How is that benefiting you when these folks come directly around, jumping out of trucks and vans, coming through back doors, just like shadow ninjas? How does that actually benefit you at this moment in time? It doesn't. It doesn't. But again, when you have a lot of folks out there that are from other places and they decide that they want to speak negatively about Black Americans and they want to throw all types of, slights and jabs, and they want to make all of these videos, ha ha he. Look who, got that stupid prize. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So now y'all out here on your own, in a country which is not yours, and you have to now deal with the decisions that you voted directly on or decided to side directly with, because a lot of y'all thought that whatever this regime or this government, was going to do was going to heavily burden and affect Black Americans, and that everybody was going to just be free and be able to do whatever it is that they wanted to sit up there and do. You thought wrong, and now you're sitting up here running. Now you don't know what to sit up there and do. Now you up here trying to make TikTok videos and tell your people like, oh, don't go to these African shops out there. They're going through the back doors. They're sitting up there hunting us down. They don't care if you got your documents and all this other type of stuff. They're just snatching people up. No, they're snatching you up. They're not snatching Black America. They're snatching you up. This is a you problem. Like we tried to tell y'all in the beginning, y'all ain't want to sit up there and listen. Y'all were so hyped because y'all 100% thought that all of this was just going to fall directly down and collapse upon Black Americans. And you found out. You play stupid games. You win stupid prizes. Let's continue.
And it was a foreigner. There's two foreigners that's doing that. They're not even American. They're foreigners that they're sending to do to their own foreigners, like for real. It's a foreigner that's doing this. The guy who came is both of them is a Hispanic and a Black guy, like foreigners that's doing that though. So be out there, be safe. If you don't have to be outside, don't be outside. There's the great America everybody want to come to. That's what's going on now. Stay home for your own safety. And now they're saying they're going door to door, so whatever. But just know they're not asking you if you have your papers or not, because they didn't ask me. They didn't ask me if I was a citizen. They didn't ask me if I'm legal. Nothing. They just grabbed me. If that other guy wasn't there, they probably would have put my little tiny in that car and God knows what. Because they're not asking questions. So if you can't be outside, don't be outside. I'm okay, VK, thank you. But these people, they're not even asking questions. They didn't even ask me for my documents. They didn't ask me if I was legal. They just grabbed me. Imagine people who their kids are at school and they grab them, the kids could get off school, and then they come home, their parents are not there. So what if I was not legal, you know? They all in BP right now, but those African stores, that's where they're at. The people at the dollar store, that's the next place they're going. So they're not asking anyone for documents. They just grab me. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for those people that don't have documents, yo.
Yeah, I don't got time for it. I can't even find my tiny violin at this moment in time. Yeah, like I said, I tried to tell people before, and even last year when I was speaking directly on this, I tried to warn people, try to have conversations, and people wanted to say rah 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 and all this other type of stuff. They wanted to come into a lot of those, live streams underneath those videos, and they wanted to troll. Magically, I don't see a lot of those trolls no more. It's as if they just poofed up and vanished, just disappeared. David Blaine magic, Harry Potter sorcery. It's wild how a lot of those folks that were really high and mighty. It's amazing how a lot of those folks for quite some years they wanted to be online talking about like, oh yeah, y'all said that we are taking your jobs, and guess what, we are, and there's nothing that you can sit up there and do about it. We didn't have to do nothing about nothing. You put yourself directly on social media for everybody to sit up there and see. So it's not just Black Americans that you inevitably insulted and was talking specifically to. You were talking to the majority in this country when you were doing stuff like that. You were talking to white Americans. And now you find it out. And then you heard what she said. She was like, oh yeah, they got other immigrants and they're sitting up here, and doing this and that, and and rah. Yeah. Because a lot of y'all sat up there and voted for this to take place. Because a lot of your people who are established here, they're like, all right, we already solidified ourselves. We don't need no more of y'all coming from the old country over here. We don't need y'all. Stay back home. Stay back home. We already made it here. We already solidified ourselves. We seen everything that needs to be seen. There's nothing else for you to do. So don't even come over here. Go back home. And it was like, you know what? We know you're not going to go back home. And because you're not going to go back home, we're going to vote for somebody that's going to sit up there and keep you home. So, like I said before, a lot of y'all, instead of blaming Black Americans and trying to make this an our problem or a Black American issue, trying to say that we're to blame for this because either we're not protecting or speaking out or that we voted for this, it's a you problem. Because, like I said, I got videos up here where you got, Africans and Haitians and Latins and everybody else for Trump. And we tried to tell y'all dummies, if you do this, it is not going to end well at all. Just like I said before, what was that one dude? He had the restaurant. It was called Trump Burger or something like that, and that dude was an immigrant, and he ended up getting deported, or he was caught up with ICE. Yeah, stupid. There was another woman. She was a Hispanic American, and she has a business here in the United States, where I think she said about 80 to 90% of the people are illegal immigrants. She also voted for Trump. And she specifically said that, she voted for Trump because Trump was going to make things better and all this other type of stuff. And when the other person who was Hispanic asked her, was like, so, what do you think about your people, your workforce that's going to get affected? And she was like, yeah, I think about it, a lot. And, I just, I tell them that it's going to be okay, that things will work out. I'm like, so the greater majority of the population of your business depends on your own people who are legal immigrants, and you voted for a president that stated that on day one his main mission and goal is to get illegal immigrants directly out of here. You can't teach stupid. Let me tell you, you can't teach stupid. You just there is nothing that you can sit up there and do. You can't teach stupid like that. That is the most. Let me see if I can find that clip. Lord have let me see if I can find that clip real quick, because I kid you not, that was just to see that was insane. Like, even the woman that was interviewing the business owner, she looked a little bit baffled, just a little bit baffled, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I feel the same way you do, and this don't even have nothing to do with me. I'm like, that is wild. I'm like, why would you do something so stupid? Out of all things that you could potentially do, why would you opt to do something so stupid? And like I said before, a lot of the clowns directly out there that decide that they want to speak on Black Americans, like I said, a lot of y'all folks, y'all got to understand that you got some of your people back home making it worse for y'all here. They're making videos from homeland talking about Black Americans in America. And I'm like, yeah, y'all better sit up there and start getting y'all people and telling them to shut up. Because y'all just y'all people gonna sit up there and make stuff worse, man. They not even here to actually deal with the fallout or the outcome of any of the stuff here. Like I said, that is 100% wild work. I'm trying to see if I can find this real quick. Real quick. Because right now I'm passing through a lot of old videos. I might have to do a compilation video of a lot of these folks getting online talking about Black Americans. I could probably do, like, if I wanted to, I could probably do like a 4-hour compilation, but I'll probably cut it down to like 30. For those who want to come through and watch that. But yeah, this is madness, man. This is 100% madness. Let's see if I can find us. Look like a Trump supporter right there. Where is this lady at? I wish I would have actually posted that on IG, because that would have made it easier to actually find it. Because the amount of videos that I'm scrolling through, Lord, I've done a lot of videos. Done a lot of videos and covered a lot of these things in live streams. Because I'm going through memory lane right now. And I know I'm going through a portion of the year. I think that was probably earlier during the year where I actually did that video. I think that was earlier during the year. What I'll probably do is, excuse me, I'll sit up there and I'm not even sure how long this video is, Well, matter of fact, yeah. I'll try to slide to the next video real quick, which is still, within the same area, and I'll try to look for this video real quick. Uh-oh, somebody's trying to hurt my feelings. Yeah, I love it. Somebody said, dude, you are not good at this. Let me see something real quick. I got you. No problem. No problem. No problem. I love when people have opinions. I love when people pull up to the scene and they have opinions about a variety of things here. Let me just see some real quick. What was your name real quick? Name was Mo. I got you. Let me see where you coming from real quick. Obviously, it's not on the side that I'm looking at, so I would actually have to go to the other side real quick. No problem. I got you. Also, shout out to the, because he said I was no good at doing this. Shout out to the 2,684 that appeared directly into this live stream at this moment in time, because I'm no good at doing live streams in social media, even though I got some live streams that have hit 500,000. But yeah, that's cool. That's you're right. You're right. You got it. I'm just trying to see which side that you're looking at this moment in time. Let me see. Let me look at channel activity. Let me just see who this person is real quick. So you came directly from the other channel. So I'm no good at this. Let me see, how many views do you got so far on your channel? You got one video and 28 views. You joined YouTube in July 3rd of 2013, and you got 2 videos. Your last video was 3 years ago, and you're looking at the top 10. What is this? Cutest figurines. Let me see this real quick. Let me just let you know, for the person up top that decided to make a comment on my YouTube channel, your whole channel is trash. Your whole channel is trash. Your engagement is 3.6. You have no views per hour. You of course have no outlier videos to even compare, due to the fact that you only have one video directly up there, which shows that you're not consistent and you're also a quitter. Your camera is also trash. You need better lighting. You need a better mic setup as well too. You made a 10-minute video directly on this. Are you serious? Yeah, this is all trash. How old is this video? 3 years ago? Wow. The type of bad quality I see right there, and this is 3 years ago. I would have thought that this was maybe 2012. Maybe, like 09 or something. Like that's why. What phone were you on? What phone were you on? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me when people come directly. Y'all really think that I'm not, when you decide to leave, you really think that I'm not going to sit up there and check your channels and critique those? I keep telling people, if you're at least going to sit up there and critique me and say what it is that I'm not good at, I need you to do better. Not be on the same level. I need you to do better. You better be an all-star. You better be Superman directly in here. You better be Lex Luthor. You better be the finest detective. You better be Bruce Wayne directly in here. Have like Wayne Manor, and you better just be the best. You better have some Wayne Industries type money and views. Like, this is crazy. That's my worst video has more views than your whole channel. What are we talking about? I'm not good at this, brother. Give up. Pack it up. Close down that whole channel. Close it up. Pack it up. Pack it up. Like, this is wild to me. This is Yo, why would you do this to yourself? Why would you do this? You can even tell by the speech that you are even, afraid or nervous talking in a camera, and you're just by yourself in a room in front of a mirror. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not good at this. That is wild. That is a wow. 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 I think I just gave you like another view. Matter of fact, let me give you a thumbs up. I'm going to give you this is why. Oh, your comments are turned off. I wonder why. I wonder why your comments are. Why would you turn off the comments? I wouldn't even ever. Why would you turn off the comments? Why would you? That was quick. That was very quick how those comments got turned off. That was I didn't expect that one. Let me just refresh this so I can give you another view, so I can put that up to 29 if it'll do it. Right? All right. Oh, nope, it won't do it. But I did give you a like though. I gave you a like to let you know to quit and never do it again. Find another hobby, do something else in life. Content creation is just not it. Again, if y'all going to come through and try to critique me, just know you messing with the wrong one. Don't do it. Don't do it, because I know a lot of you are bums. You're inconsistent and you don't have what it takes to actually do this, especially for a certain number of years. You really don't. And like I said, I'm not even saying I'm the best content creator directly out here. I got other content creators that I follow that I feel do great, awesome, beautiful work. And I've talked about their channels directly on my platform as well. For the person directly up here, you are nowhere even close at all. At all. AI who generate YouTube platforms do way better than you, and that's not even a real person. You got kids right now on TikTok that do better content than you do. And I'm talking about kids who are like 5. Like, that's wild. They know how to position a camera. They know about, correct lighting, how to display certain things, how to, specifically go over each and every item. Whatever. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Like, I really hate when people do this. I really hate when people do this. Oh man. Oh man. Tibby said, I guess he didn't think he was going to go to his. I'm not even sure I'm not sure what that is. So I'm not even trying to, have nobody say that. Oh, you're phobic. I'm like, actually no, because I'm not going to sit up there and say if that was a her or a him. That person, that human being. Because, like I said, I didn't see a face. I heard a voice. But I'm not going to sit up there and specifically put a gender directly on. That's just how people decide to get. I ain't even going to sit up there and do it. I'm just saying again, people just need to mind their business. If you don't, in a sense, have nothing to say, just don't say nothing at all. Just shut up. That's all you got to sit up there and do. That's all you got to sit up there and do. That's it. That is it. Like, that is some wild work. How dare you? Man, I feel like actually just going on a rant about this for a long time. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it. I'm not going to be over that for the rest of this day. There's so many things I want to say. I was so tempted to actually just get the video and just post it up here so we can just critique the video all together. Because I'm that type of petty. Since people want to, pull up to the scene and critique what it is, and at least I'm doing this live. Man, let me relax. Let me do better. Let me do better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next video, and we're going to listen to what people have to say, and we're going to carry on with the topic. My apologies to anybody watching. I'm working on myself every day. I'm working on being a better person. So, sometimes we fall sometimes and then we get back up, we fall down and we get, let's go.
Is that Black Americans have obtained a lot more power in the United States. They've been introduced into institutionalized areas and are becoming part of the system. And that's a really good thing. However, I do think the Black community needs to discuss what it means to be Black in a position of power. Because at one point in time, there were people like Malcolm X who wanted to tear the system down. And now Black Americans are faced with a choice of upholding certain institutional norms, which may have held them back in the past. However, they're not being impacted now. So it will be interesting to see how this progresses, and it's an interesting historical shift in the United States. Yeah.
Right. So I had to call my mic because I was laughing during the video when I saw this comment. Tribe Star was like, runs to make YouTube channel private. Oh man. Oh man. We got Song. Yo, what is up, Song? You said just block him and let him go. No, I'm too petty for that. I'm sorry. I told people before I try to do better. Every single day I try to be better than I was, when I first started. I was way worse than this. I would have actually taken the time and the energy to get the video and to break down the video each and every step. I did this before. People have seen the type of depths of petty that I got 7 levels to petty. I got 7 levels. So, I try to. I'm only at level 1 right now. So I've made progress over the years. It took me about, probably like 5 to 6 years to get here. So, we're doing good. We're doing good. So again, my apologies. I'm doing better. I'm doing better. But the reason I wanted to showcase this video here is because you have this individual with whatever smirk and smile that they have, as if they really know something that Black Americans don't. And he specifically wants to know, it's like, okay, well, with the shift and everything that's going on here, what are Black Americans going to do with their newfound powers? What are you talking about? We've been had stuff here. This is why dealing with the United States, things go the way that they go, because individuals know that if they don't put certain blocks and certain things directly in the way, that things are going to look completely different here in the United States when it deals with finances for Black Americans, when it deals with politics for Black Americans, even when it deals with our families, our neighborhoods, when it deals with advertisements. Right, when it deals with media that is specifically placed out there. Like I said before, there's a specific reason why negative media sells, such as or stereotypical media like Medea films. It's the stereotypical, angry Black woman. Black woman always going through something like negative and all this other type of stuff, and perseverance and finding a way to power through solely by herself because she's strong and independent and rah rah rah. Within that same exact type of media, you also have the Black man not doing nothing. He's always a negative. He's never doing anything correctly when it deals with the family, the Black woman, the kids, the community, and things that it's nothing positive. Right. The same thing with Zeus Network. It's the exact same media, but it's specifically pointed and tailored towards Black American women. Like I said, it's bad all around, but this is the type of stuff that makes money. And they know if that they perpetuate this exact same stereotype, art imitates life, life imitates art, that whatever those who peer into that and gravitate to that, they're going to also share within that exact same energy. Right. So it's no longer just a fantasy. It's no longer something that's, in a sense, quote unquote, just made up. Now it is a reality because they're controlling reality through the perception of the media that they give directly to the people. Right. And then that further goes into another area where it deals with how others specifically view, let's say, Black American men. And they view Black American men by way of the media directly out here. Mainstream media is controlled by other folks out here, not by Black Americans. So this is why when they want to talk about Black American men, they always gravitate towards the most negative and stereotypical thing. They're not looking at the black fathers that are there, that are present. They're not looking at the black men that want to be big brothers. They're not looking at the black men that are formulating a lot of these groups to protect, the family, or to clean up the neighborhood and or the blocks directly out there. They're not focused on the black men that are entrepreneurs, that are inventors, that are investing back into the black community, black women, into the kids, helping out the elderly. Again, there's a lot of positive things out there about black men, but that's not what people want to stick with, because that makes them, seeing anything positive about black men makes them uncomfortable. Seeing everything negative about black men makes them feel comfortable, right? Uncomfortability, dealing with positive black men. Comfortability, dealing with the stereotypical, images and things that they put out there with black men. So, it's all over the place, and both parties are specifically getting affected. But back to this person here, this is why I have a problem, because he wants to, instead of being focused on his people and what it is that his people should be doing as a collective, they magically have space on their plate to be like, you know what? Oh, I got some space here. Let me look back on the itinerary and see, what else I can look directly at. You don't have no space. I don't care if you got a multitude of empty plates. You got things that are going to be dropped on that plate that you should be readily focused more on, versus trying to ask online black Americans, what are we going to do? Whatever we do really is not going to have any bearing directly on you. Because like I said before, and I went over on the last live stream, these are the same folks that decided to go all in on a lawsuit when it dealt with Google, so that they can get a little bit of scraps of money. They got the little 28 million and decided to exclude black Americans directly out of, and they went directly to the judge and excluded black Americans from that lawsuit. Look it up. So stop being worried about us when you've always been worried about yourselves. This is what I'm talking about. And everybody want to talk about, like, oh, there's this unity and this, that. No, there's not. Like, you're worried about the wrong folks. You're worried about the wrong people. You better be worried about what those white folks are going to sit up there and do to you. You better worry about the white folks that are enlisted and the other ones that's enlisted to come pick you up. You better be worried about that. Don't be fixing your face online to be talking about black Americans. What you going to do with this power that you? Why are you worried about it? Why are you concerned about it? You don't even like us. Why is this even a conversation? Like, you're not going to tell me that this is an everyday conversation that you even have amongst your family and your friends. That's stupid. It makes no sense. Like, man, y'all some weirdos. Man, y'all some weirdos. But anyways, so since we're still on this topic, I'm going to, allow their God to basically speak on the problems and the complications when it deals with this country, right? So let's listen.
Well, one of the things I say in my book is toward the end is that one federal commission after another, beginning in the 1970s, an academic commission after another, have said that mass immigration that was restarted in 1965 and then made much worse in 1990, that mass immigration is retarding and even setting back the economic progress that African Americans had made in the 1950s and 1960s.
Not racism?
Well, racism. And,
it's not racism.
But, racism is a part of it, because, as I talk in the book, there's just no doubt that there is an employer bias, that if the line can be filled long enough with non-African Americans, that in general, employers, sadly, prefer the non-African American. And they especially go after immigrants, and even immigrants from Africa. So in that sense, it may not be so much race as it is. It's more of a racial, cultural bias against African Americans that have an American culture, and frankly, that want to live and work and be paid like Americans. And so they prefer immigrants who aren't used to that. The children of immigrants, they also want to be paid and work and live like Americans. But the immigrants will accept something less. So yes, but what these commissions, one after another, said, this is setting back that progress. And the numerical level of immigration, first of all, needs to be pulled back. It needs to be moderated. Now, that was the decision of the Rockefeller Commission, bipartisan commission, in 1972 or 1973. It was the recommendation, the findings of the Hesburgh Commission, federal bipartisan commission, in 1980. It was the conclusion of the American Academy of Sciences in a big report on race. And at that time, what was that? Would that have been 50 years after Myrtle's big book on what needed to be done on racial progress? Anyway, that was American Academy of Science. They said the same thing. And then in 1993 to 1996, there was the bipartisan commission on immigration reform that was led by Barbara Jordan.
Yes,
they had the same conclusion. So, it's kind of like somebody coming to the door of somebody that, say, a rural farm, and saying, there's a bunch of bandits that are over 5 hills over. They're on their way, and you ignore them, and then you ignore another one. Somebody keeps warning you, and then the thing is that the bandits come and they rob you of your livelihood. They rob you of your wealth. That's what one Congress after another. And it doesn't matter whether Congress has been run by Republicans or Democrats, whether the president was Republican or Democrat. The fact is, the federal government has ignored every one of these warnings, and every one of the warnings has come true. They said it's going to get worse. And, I think many people are familiar that the median household wealth of Black households is generally has been for a couple of decades now, let me say this another way. The median household wealth of the white household is 10 to 12 times higher than the median household wealth of Black households.
So basically, what I gathered from that, along with other information and videos that I've done over time, is that it was going to have inevitably a negative effect on Black Americans, or it was going to make it stagnant, right? Both of which have taken place at this moment in time. There was a young conservative Black woman, of which she was stating how everything dealing with immigration is causing problems in the Black neighborhoods, right? She stated that as of right now, matter of fact, let me see if I can find that video, right? But before I do, she stated that as of right now, she has Black men in her family who specifically have things against them, right? Because whatever they got locked up for, they have priors and all this other type of stuff. And usually it's harder for them to find jobs. But because of the system that we have in place at this moment, they can, get a low cost apartment. They can get a trucking job and some other jobs directly out there. But due to the increase of the immigrants here, that is having a negative impact on those Black men that are getting out, and they want to be able to work. They want to be able to provide. They want to change, their lives and be an asset, but they're unable to. So then once that impacts them, right, and impedes on their actions, what does that then leave those Black men that just got out? What does that leave them for them to do? To go back and do the exact same thing that put them in the exact same predicament. Rinse, wash, and repeat. And the only people making money off of that is the system that we currently have. So this is why I stated before that this is why they have an influx of migrants throughout the 20, 30, whatever years, because they knew what type of impact that it was going to have on the Black American community and or household. They weren't worried about themselves. Again, the white majority out there wasn't worried about themselves, because they know that they have their spot solidified. They know that things are going to go a certain type of way for them. But now it's almost reflective of the drug epidemic when it dealt with, let's say, crack, right? And how it is that was allowed to flood the streets and flood into the Black community, and white folks didn't care because it wasn't going to affect them. It was going to benefit them, in a sense, in a way, for those who, let's say, like law enforcement that work in the city, right? Or it benefits those who want to try to buy up property and all this other type of stuff for a low cost because of the crime rate is higher and it's bringing down the property rate in the land, so they can just come in and sweep things, directly up. Again, that's something that's happened in Detroit on both the east and the west side. And I've talked about this before in the previous, live stream. But then later on, they saw the repercussions of the actions that they allowed to happen into the Black community, because no matter what you do, sooner or later, what happens to us is going to happen to you. But it's also going to happen on a larger and a faster scale. So we went through the crack epidemic, and they went through the, the meth, they're going through the fentanyl epidemic, and the ODs, the opioids, and all of that. And you see how that is ravaging the populations of the white communities directly out here. And now they're trying to scrape and scramble and scrape to get some things together in order to fix that problem that they are the causation of. And this is why I keep trying to tell people, it's like everybody thinks that whatever they do to Black Americans is not going to have an effect on everybody else. And historically speaking, it's always had an effect on everybody else. And in certain instances, it became worse than what it was for the Black community. Because this whole drug epidemic in the white community, it is sweeping them clean. It's not no type of like comeback that they're coming directly. Like once they're like on a lot of this stuff, they are on a lot of this stuff. And for some of them, they'll just turn directly into zombies. This is why when you got white content creators out here, they go through a lot of these cities. It's like a zombie land. You got people that's just sitting up there, almost look like they hovering, because they're on like the brink. You don't know if they're coming or going. Like I said, it's wild out here. I'm trying to find this this little clip real quick. I actually got to go to my downloads. Excuse me. Should have been about last week. I want to say, like I said, it's wild out here, the things that transpire and take place. Found it. Gotcha.
To your point about what did the Conservative Party right now, what are they doing, is illegal migration. And I have many videos talking about how when you allow millions of people who are not, classically educated, right? They don't have a degree from something. When they come in, the jobs that they take are blue collar jobs. I have multiple members of my family that have criminal records. They need blue collar jobs. If you look at the results of the mass deportation acts, Black men are getting jobs in trucking. They're getting jobs in home improvement. They're getting jobs in moving and storage. This is a fact that was direct. And I just was talking to her about this outside. They are taking low cost rental apartments. I'm a real estate agent. I did the math on this. In New York City, I'm in New York City. There are 100,000 homeless people in New York City. There are 600,000 illegal migrants in New York City. There's 20% of the illegal migrants are living in apartments, right? So that's, if you do those quick numbers, that's 120,000 or 120,000 apartments being taken up that could be going to the 100,000 homeless people. And of the homeless people, 60% of them are illegal migrants. So the reality is we need to talk about this and how that sector of the population coming here is affecting especially low-income Black people. Also, abortion needs to be mentioned, because the reality is as we abort more of our Black babies, we become or keep staying a lower minority in this country. There are somewhere around 400,000 Black babies aborted every year, not just babies. There's 1 million abortions every year. There's 400,000 Black babies aborted every year. Black people only make up 13% of the entire U.S. population. So if we kept 1 million people every 2 years, we would literally stop being a minority in this country in the course of like 10 years.
So again, that was a Black woman that was speaking. And you can clearly see the difference. Black American woman, somebody who is not Black American. And you see the sour look that she has directly on her face, and she ain't trying to hear nothing. And this is why I be talking about. These folks right here do not care about Black Americans. They come here to take, and to take up space. This is why, and I've covered this over the years, this is why whenever conversations of reparations have come directly up, people like this and many others decide that they want to get politically into certain seats not to help out Black Americans, but to take from Black Americans, to make sure that Black Americans are not in a specific position. These are also the exact same folks in government that decide that they want to derail conversations when it deals with reparations, because they know themselves that within their lineage that they cannot specifically state that, oh, let me raise my hand because I deserve some money. You can't, because we know that you're from somewhere else. And what was that one dude's name? Donald Byron, whatever that dude's name is. They got the white wife. He was on a Breakfast Club, and he specifically stated that the reason why he's against reparations is because his family is from elsewhere and all this other type of stuff. And basically, it would be unfair if just one group would be able to get something when everybody went through something here. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm not trying. Like I said before, I would never go into like any South American area and decide to run for a political office. First of all, I would never even be able to sit there. I would never be able to win that because, again, I am too dark. Number two, I don't speak the language. And number three, I'm not of the people. So again, even if for conversation's sake, I was able to go to a South American country and I was able to run and I actually made it, I would never at a point in time try to derail or speak against the population there and try to say that, oh, well, because, I'm a Black American and I'm here, I don't believe, the Venezuelans should be able to get this, that, and the third because, I'm here. I go through certain things. So I feel that I deserve some stuff too. So we need to sit down and figure this out on how it can be beneficial to everybody and not just one. That's some crazy talk. But this is what happens on the political landscape when it deals with Black Americans every single day. You had one dude I covered before. It was a bald milk dud looking dude. I think he was like Jamaican or somewhere from the islands. And he specifically voted against the whole thing dealing with reparations. And I'm like, who are you? Get this man out of office. Get him out of office. I don't know who voted for him. Get that man out of office. He is a detriment to Black Americans across that state and that city. He does not mean no type of good for Black Americans. Get that man directly out of office. Get the rest of them out of office too. Because again, it was the same thing I set up there and covered. What's that Muslim girl? What's her name? Ilhan Omar. I had a video that I showcased of a meeting that they were having. And you saw her directly there sitting amongst the table. And then you had, I guess, one of their Somalian leaders or whatever it was. Directly there was a guy. And he specifically stated that the Somalians are here to take political positions and power away from Black Americans so that those seats will be specifically for Somalians and to focus in on Somalian people and to benefit only Somalian people. This is why I sat up there and said before, everybody that looks like you is not for you. Everybody who looks like you is not for you. So to the question where somebody was consistently asking me where, all of these people, how do they, have a negative effect or whatnot or whatever on Black Americans? That's how. I hope that answered that question directly for you. Because that's exactly how, because a lot of you guys come here and you want to try to be so close in proximity to whiteness that you're willing to sacrifice. You're even willing to sacrifice your own culture, your own language, who it is that you are, because you believe that whiteness is the closest thing to cleanliness and godliness. And you view Black Americans as obviously the opposite. And then on top of that, you take in the indoctrination and all this other information that they give you, which is stereotypes, and you take that on as your own talking points, repeating the exact same harmful rhetoric that has always been spread and stated against Black Americans for the longest time possible since the inception of this country. And y'all wonder why it is that we got a problem with y'all? Y'all wonder why it is that we don't specifically see eye to eye? This is clear cut why. Like I said before, the look on her face, she is disinterested. She does not care. And I'm pretty sure she has some type of problem with how it is that she is being talked directly to. And like I said, if you are that type and you are directly, if you're African or whatever and you're in this country and we're trying to explain stuff to you, you got this face, I need you to sit up there and take the next thing smoking back to Africa, back home. Because case in point, she would never have this face towards anybody that's white. I promise you that. She would never sit up there and look at a white man like that. I promise you that. Her face would be vastly different. She has a resting face for no reason. which is crazy to me. But here we are. And this goes directly right back into the previous live stream I gave you guys yesterday, where you had what was it? Let me see if I can find the image directly for you guys, where it was quite a bit of, what was it? It wasn't diplomas. It was some paperwork that was getting sent directly. People were caught up in this whole scam when it dealt with certain things. Let me see if I can find this real quick here, because I did read off the article as well. Because, like I said, it's crazy out here. A lot of these folks want to sit up there and say that, we're the most educated and and all this stuff directly out here, and you sitting up there scheming and scamming. You out here scheming and scamming, and you getting caught up in a lot of these things where we're finding out that you don't even have the official paperwork to even be in the medical field, which is crazy. Let me see this real quick. Let me go right back. Let me see. Oh, anyways, hold on. So while I'm looking for that, let me go to the next one here.
I really would like to know who started this imaginary beef between black women and Hispanic women, because y'all really hate the fuck out of each other, bro. And that shit is so baffling to me, because what's the reason? What is the beef about? Like, real shit, this shit has been going on since before I was born, and I'm 30. Like, no funny shit. We're not even about to sit here and act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Black women and Hispanic women really hate each other and say the most disgusting, racist things to each other. Like, I really don't understand where this beef started. When did it even start? And why y'all hate each other so much? Goya bean bitch this, bad body shape this, black ass bitch that, dirty looking black bitch that, welfare bitch that. Like, why? Why? Y'all sound so ignorant and so fucking stupid. I'm Hispanic myself, and I'll be damned if I hate on a black woman. I love me a black woman down to the ground. Like, I really want to know what the fuck is up with y'all and where the fuck did this shit come from? Because y'all sound stupid, ignorant, and immature as fuck. Like, dead ass.
So we clearly heard that, right? I just want to also bring up the fact that because she said that she was a Hispanic woman, right? And she said it was like, I love, black women down and all this other type of stuff. But like I said before, I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing of her there. Realistically, with the New York accent, I hear black women. I hear black women from New York all directly through her voice. And like I said before, to me, that is very much problematic. To me, that reads cosplaying, that reads, masquerading, and, a variety of other things, such as that. Again, things that people don't want to go directly into. And when you happen to point these things directly out, people want to get offended. You want to start saying a variety of things directly out here. And again, that is highly problematic. Highly problematic. Then on top of that, I've covered videos before where somebody as such as Cardi B decided to call black women roaches. That is that fits within the colorist, racist type of thing there. Even Cardi B, she said herself that she doesn't even to further prove the point that she has biases against her own. She specifically said that she does not like or date men of her own race. She quote unquote wants to date somebody different of a different culture. More so specifically, black men who are darker complected. Even though within Cardi B's own demographic, right, that whole system that they have, they don't like the darker complected individuals, of her people. And even on the stand, to go a step further, Cardi B stated that she is not Black American. Under oath, she said that she is not Black American. She did not identify as Black American at all. So, you know, like I said, if she wants to sit up there and try to come up like, oh, I don't know where none of this comes from, and this is all weird to me, and yeah, you know where it comes from. Like, why are you acting stupid? Why are you acting stupid? Like this is the whole thing right here, where people want to just come to the stand and you just want to plead ignorance. Like, you don't know your people. You never seen no type of like nonsense. You don't understand. Like, better yet, let me go to another step, and this is going directly to the Africans. We want to go back and forth a little bit, right? So let me just highlight this just a bit. Well, wait, I can't bring it up. Okay, yeah, okay. Let me go back and let me go through and get the clip of the young woman who originally brought this up. Let me see if I got it. If I actually got the translation, just in case, real quick. Nothing there. All right, so let me just pull the normal video from yesterday. No, that's the advisory dealing with Oregon. Also, as well too, because I did cover this yesterday. For anybody that lives in Nevada, California, Oregon, and Georgia, be very careful when it deals with the air quality, you know, directly out there, because as stated before, a lot of things are happening, you know, are going on, and you got to be very cautious. And I've covered stuff like this before, where it deals with the government, and you know, and certain things transpiring, certain things that are, you know, being done in order to impact the general, you know, population. Right, like I said, living in very scary times. I'm not saying that stuff like this was not already happening, but you know, you gotta be aware of a lot of things directly out here. Let me see. Thousands of pollution. Got some stuff directly on Darwin. That's the military branch. Dun, 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 dun. There we go.
They found 7,600 fake nursing diplomas that was given out to different nurses since 2023 or before, and it was through the Operation Nightingale, right? Now, this involves Indians, Haitians, lots of people. But I remember the first round of Operation Nightingale because this was heavy during COVID time. You've seen so many people that became nurses out of fucking nowhere. We've seen so much more Africans in the industry and things like that. And that's not me being like prejudiced or anything. I'm just saying it's the truth. Okay, so basically, a federal jury in Fort Lauderdale, right, y'all, convicted Stephanie DeRisca, the former director of a nursing tech pro institute in Boca Raton, right? So she was convicted of serious fraud charges related to one of the largest fake nursing credential scandals in U.S. history. DeRisca originally was from Haiti, where she began her career, right, y'all, as a dental hygienist before immigrating to the U.S. She was found guilty on 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 5 counts of wire fraud following a 3-day trial that concluded in December, right, y'all. Now, the verdict came after the jurors deliberated for less than 3 hours. According to the U.S. Attorney Office for the Southern District of Florida in court documents, DeRisca conspired with the school's owner and recruiters, primarily from Texas, y'all, to sell false credentials, falsely certified credentials and diplomas, right, y'all, and
Right, so we heard that part. So then go directly to this information here, and this is why I said it was going to go kind of like back and forth from this video to the other stuff dealing with the immigrants and things of this nature. So this is the information that you can clearly see directly in front of you. And I'm just going to read the first paragraph again. Operation Nightingale is a major federal investigation into a massive scheme involving a sales of fraudulent nursing diplomas and transcripts from several Florida-based nursing schools, leading to charges against dozens of individuals for creating an illegal shortcut to nursing licenses and employment across the United States. This operation, launched by the HHS Office of Inspector General, or the HHS OIG, and law enforcement, exposed the distribution of over 7,600 fake credentials, resulting in arrests, prosecutions, and actions by state nursing boards to protect public safety by reviewing licenses of those who use the fake documents. So going back to the video that I gave you guys before, which was this one, where you had this young woman speaking up and talking about how this is heavily impacting black men in the United States. Not only are they, let me just zoom in on the sour face, right? See if I can get it real quick. Where's she at? Yeah. Not only are they affecting black American men in the United States, trying to get themselves up and do the right things, but they're also impacting black women. We know that a lot of black women in the black community are into nursing, right? It doesn't matter if they are a registered nurse, an LPN, or whatever it is. They're in the nursing field. A lot of these women are coming directly up here. They don't have the necessary credentials. They didn't graduate nothing. They didn't study anything, but they're taking up positions and jobs from black American women who are actually going through the schools. I know the amount of folks that are directly out there that are not black American, because again, my mom is a nurse and she has had conversations with me for years, explaining to me all of these different women directly up here, those from like the islands, the ones that are Africans, the ones that are Indians, and how it is that they have this type of disposition when it deals with black American women, how it is that they speak directly to y'all, and how it is that they treat y'all directly in the medical field. And again, these are the same ones that will throw you under the bus real quick to get you out of position so that they can get one of theirs directly in that position. Again, this is a whole thing to, it's a chess game, and they got the whole board, and they're sitting up there trying to make their positions and put their people in specific areas that are beneficial to them and only them. So, again, this is why I keep bringing up a lot of this stuff, because it's not just a one-sided thing. And like I said before, you do have educated black women directly out here, but the education don't mean nothing if you got people that are already in the position to basically state that, we're not going to hire you. We have somebody else to fill the position. Thank you. Right. It don't matter what type of education or qualification that you got. If their people are specifically behind the desk that are able to make the rules, that can say yay and nay, your college don't matter, your education don't matter, whatever sorority that you went to, it doesn't matter, because they're going to play for the home team at the end of the day. They're not playing for you. You might have went through the same college, right? You might be a part of the same sorority. They're going to look out for them first and only them. So like I said, we're all being affected. We are all being affected. Like I said, it's crazy out here. It is diabolical. Yo, Hack, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? What is going on? But now we're going to sit up there and look directly at another video. We're going to flip directly to a whole nother section. This one is going to be a bit of nonsense. Like I said before, I tend to cover some different videos. So you see the face directly up here. So we're going to hear out the nonsense that she has to say, and we're going to dive in and break that down. Right. So please have some patience.
Y'all might need to tell me if I'm wrong or not. I'm sitting in the car because my boyfriend is literally tripping. Like, he will not let me do anything for real. Like, all he does is work for 12 hours and use that against me. Oh, why you ain't cook nothing? Oh, why you ain't clean nothing? Because you work for 12 hours and then all you do is come home musty. Why you can't come home clean? But I don't even like him for real, because it's just he's too nice for me. Like, he don't hit me like my exes did or nothing. Like, we can't fight or nothing. If I want to fight, he just walks away. Like, I just don't want him. And I really want my ex-boyfriend who's in jail. And that's another thing, y'all. He told me I'm not allowed to send money to my ex-boyfriend no more. And it's like, why are you in charge of who I can send money to or not? Just go to work and make it. So I was basically just over it with him. I've been sitting in the car for about 15-20 something minutes because I just hate the sight of him. Like, everything about him I just can't stand. But I'm not gonna leave, because it's not like I can leave anyway. I mean, I don't got no job because he don't make me work. And the way that I see it, if he left today, like right now, I'd have to make that rent. I can't do it by myself. So in a way, I think I'm kind of doing him a favor by being his girlfriend, because he got low self-esteem. He not cute anyway. Don't no girl want him for real. Like, it's just like, to me, I just think I'm doing him a favor because, like I said, he funny looking, so it's not like anybody would want him for real. Like, if I leave, who's gonna be there? Like, nobody. And then he be trying to put limits on how often I can go out and like that. What are you talking about? What is wrong with me wanting to go to the club 2-3 times a week? Like, that's nothing. Like, you're doing too much. And all he does is work 12 hours every single day. And I guess that's the upside to it. I don't gotta see him like that because, like I said, he gone half the day. And I sleep half the day too. So it's like, who cares? And like I said, I just feel like I'm doing him a favor by being with him. Even though I don't come with nothing, even though I was literally sleeping on the airbed before this. Like, I just feel like I do him a favor by being with him.
She got more grill than a Cadillac, and she wants to sit up there and try to say that her boyfriend is unattractive. This is, again, I got to go back to what I stated before. With this is the wrong person to even deliver a message. You stated that you got an apartment, but yet you're a bum. You didn't even state that you have a job. He works 12 hours. That might as well basically be his apartment. You said that if he were to leave now, that you got to figure out a way to sit up there and manage that apartment and pay for it because you can't actually afford it. And then out of all of the stuff that you're saying about him, you got the nerve to sit up there and say that before you was with him, you were sleeping on the airbed. So let me get this straight. You got a bum ex-boyfriend that is a jailbird, a prison bird. And this is the dude that you actually realistically love. But because he's locked up right now, he was like, let me go get a spare tire real quick, and let me be here for a minute up until, the real guy, the real man shows back up. And then you're also using that dude's money that works for 12 hours, not your own money, using his money to send to the bum that's locked up for the wrong choices. And this, if y'all could just see my face. Ooh, like I said, this is why this is why I bring up these videos. Because I need people to understand what it is that I'm seeing on social media every single day, that you got women out here putting out, and they're honestly putting this out. And you have some women out here that will agree directly with her sentiments. And I'm like, oh, dear God. And people wonder why it is that we have this conversation where dudes are like, yo, what does a woman bring to the table? What can a woman really do for a guy? She's telling you that she don't do nothing for that dude at all. She says that she's a leech, she is a parasite, and that she has a parasitic relationship with another parasite while leeching off of, quote unquote, the nice guy, the decent guy. But again, that's not the actual guy that she wants to be with. She wants to be with the dude that's locked up in prison and more than likely got a boyfriend. But because he's in prison right now, she's with this other guy. And people wonder why it is that there is an epidemic right now when it deals with like the dating market. Why it is that guys don't want to go out or potentially have a relationship. It's because you got women like this going online and saying stuff like this, knowing the fact that men can see this. Like this is crazy. I'm telling you what is going to happen, because you have an abundance of women going out there and saying stuff like this. You're going to have people out here showing videos like this to their sons, and this is going to completely turn off their sons from dating, because they're going to understand that what she was basically saying is that everything is transactional. Like I said, she sounded like, a woman of the night, because she said that, oh, I'm just with him because he got money. He's not even really attractive like that. He's actually ugly. Nobody actually wants him. I'm just there for the money. That's the same thing that somebody on the street would say. I don't find none of these dudes attractive. It's the money that really gets me going. That's all she said. And a most attractive person that she deems to be attractive in her life is locked up in prison. Somebody who has made the wrong choices and decisions in life, and more than likely a guy that would actually put hands directly on her. She's sitting up here smiling, and she'll be the same one smiling with 2 black eyes and a broken jaw. Or to the furthest extent, she would have broken ribs, broken jaw, 2 black eyes, a concussion, and she would probably be 6 feet underground. Because that's the type of clownery that you're looking at right now. And this is why a lot of people sit up there and say that nice guys finish last, because they do. She told you that. She told you who was in first place. The person who she don't even have access to. The person that's probably not. And I want people to understand, when a lot of these dudes are locked up, they got multiple women sitting up there calling. They got multiple women coming up for conjugal visits. They got multiple women coming up there like sending money and putting money on the books. It's not just you. You really think, like, a lot of these women out here getting finessed, and it's crazy. Y'all getting fleeced, but a lot of women don't care. A lot of women just do not care, because a lot of women are so desperate for dudes like that, which makes no sense. You want a dude that is, in a sense, inaccessible, but he's accessible at the same time. But somebody explained it in a better note, where you have a lot of women that are like, they made it in life. They got an education, they got the money, they could, go for a multitude of dudes directly out here, but they would rather deal with dudes who are in prison and or jail because of the power dynamic. Because those women actually have the money and the power, they can sit up there and just move a lot of stuff around, right? They can make or break those guys. And a lot of those women don't want to deal with guys who are on the same level, if not doing better, because they don't have no control. There's no power play that they can sit up there and move. If those dudes decide to sit up there and dip, then they're going to sit up there and dip, because they got the money. They can just buy, I'm about to buy me another apartment somewhere. I'm about to go take a trip somewhere. I'm about to go on like 5 different dates with other women that ain't you. Like, this is crazy. This is like, brother, it's cooked out here. It is 100% cooked. Somebody said, VWO, what is up? You said, is she FBA? I'm not sure. At this moment in time, it don't matter, because the message is the only thing that matters. She could be from wherever she basically is, but because of who it is that she appears to be, other women are going to sit up and be like, okay, well, yeah, I agree with that, and yada yada yada. I completely feel that. And like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy work directly out here. Like, who the person is, DNA wise, don't even matter, because it's the message that people attach themselves to. Especially if you can put some type of trauma, you can put some type of emotions or feeling directly into it. It sells. This is why you got women like this who make content like this every single day. This is why you got specific areas of TikTok, of X, of YouTube, of IG, wherever social media is prevalent. This is where you can find this content. Like I said, a lot of women do not care. Case in point, I gave you guys a live stream and a video when X did their update, and they specifically released the information on where a lot of those black man hating content creators are basically located. You saw women that were from Spain, you saw Africa, you saw South America, the Asian Pacific, however they list that. They were from everywhere else. And even with that information being specifically out there, you still had Black American women that were still, subbed up to a lot of those pages. Like I said, it doesn't matter who's giving a message, as long as it validates the feelings and emotion and sentiments directly out there, and it speaks negatively towards Black men or the demographic that they feel needs to be vilified. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Trust me, I've been looking at this for the longest time possible. And it's the exact same thing every single time. No matter how you try to let people know, it's like, all right, you can have your opinion on how you feel about black men, but know that this person is trying to just use you and mislead you and make money directly off of emotionally, whatever your relationships were with black men. Again, I've tried to give information and educate people, and I still get a back and forth where people just like, I'm not trying to hear, but what about the message? Like, is what she said true or false about black men and all this other type of, stop being so work. I'm like, dog, stop getting tricked directly out here. White women been sitting up there tricking folks for the longest time possible. Don't sit up there and tell me that you're going to allow, in this day and age of being educated and smart and having college degrees and all this other type of stuff, don't tell me that you're going to allow the exact same game to be played by folks who supposedly look like you, who supposedly are supposed to be for you, but they're not. But like I said, either which way, I sit up there and try to, take these conversations. It's an uphill battle, dealing with your own people. It's crazy. I mean, yeah. No, you got a point. You said everything you see on social media is designed to make you take a stance and divide and hate groups of people. This is the thing. There is a point directly there, but you also got to pay attention to what it is that people are specifically saying. When you got Africans and other folks directly out here specifically saying things about Black Americans, and you got Black Americans in real life that can sit up there and tell you that they have these experiences, they've had these conversations. It's not just something that you see directly on social media. So if you got women out here talking about that they honestly are like, hey, anytime I see X, Y, and Z out here, I give a face, I got an attitude, I got this, that, and the third. You're going to have men out here that can attest to what it is that this person is saying. So you can't sit up there and say like, all of this is just fake. All of this is just AI. No, it's a lot of reality based directly into this stuff. We're just living at a day and age where people can't differentiate what's fake and what's not. Because in a lot of instances, when I brought up videos, everybody wanted to, and I told people this years ago. I told people before, and I sort of, if I can go back and find those live streams, I promise you, I told people years before AI became a thing, even a household conversation. I told people the scariest part about tech is that we were going to get to a point in time where people were going to just start to say that everything is AI. And we're looking at that right now. We're looking at that door cracking directly open. And if at this moment in time, everybody is questioning every video as AI, what's going to happen when it's 10 years from now? Better yet, not even 10 years. What's going to happen 5 years from now? What's going to happen, somewhere in the essence of about like 2030? Everybody is cooked. Like, I put it to you like this. Everybody remembers the whole thing dealing with the Nigerian prince, right? And how that was a huge scam when it dealt with like emails. And a lot of our parents and grandparents, they were, a little bit younger, during that time. So they could really grasp that, these emails are fake. It's not real and all this other type of stuff. Don't fall for these scams. Then it escalated. So now that we got all of this AI out here, people pretty much just do the AI voice type of thing. Right. And this is how they're getting a lot of the old folks over the phone and making phone calls and all this other type of stuff. I had a video where a older white woman was basically told that one of her grandchildren or whatever were basically hemmed up in the situation and that she needed to, make $10,000 or $20,000 in Bitcoin. Like, she was literally being filmed at a Bitcoin machine, putting money directly in there, getting Bitcoin back so she can sit up there and send it to help out her loved one, not knowing the fact that it was a scam. Right. And that was just the voice. So if you can't tell the difference with a voice, now this is when it gets very much ugly. And again, this is coming from a futurist. This is coming from a guy that specifically deals with tech. Now we're looking at the effects, and they're running ads directly on this on quite a few social media platforms where people can use the cameras that they have, and they can have a full body image of whoever it is that they want to be. So it doesn't matter if it's a celebrity, or it doesn't matter if they're trying to be like a model or whatnot or whatever. People are going to be, I'm trying to tell y'all, let me make this very clear, because I don't want women to sit up there and think that, oh, this is going to be a man's problem and situation. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of dudes out here that are lonely and whatnot, whatever, that's going to get scammed, on these dating sites, IG and all this other type of stuff, because of how in depth the techniques to the AI and the capture basically is. But it's going to be a lot of y'all women that's going to sit up there and be getting scammed too. I just want y'all to sit up. I want to make that as clear as possible. Do not think that you cannot be scammed, because the moment in time that you think only one group is going to be stupid on this, you're going to be falling for everything. And trust and believe when I sit up there and say and tell you this, when they sit up there and start specifically doing this towards women, oh yeah, it's over. Like I said, you got they already got television shows right now where women have talked about where they got scammed, out of long distance relationships, supposedly with this dude, to talking to him for 2, 3, whatever years, long distance. And he said he was going to come see them and come travel, but something keeps coming up and whatnot, whatever. And women are almost cleaning out their bank accounts, trying to send that dude thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, all to find out that the dude was in a clear cut another country. The dude was either Indian or African. You were sending your money to somebody who never even existed, and you can never get that money back. So like I said, that's the day and age that we're about to come directly to, and people are not going to be able to tell the difference. Even if and even if you have a let's say like a camera phone or whatnot or whatever, again, they have apps directly out here. Again, you've seen people online use filters. Like I said, if she put on a filter, she'll be looking vastly different right now. They got filters where they can make you look perfect almost. And like I said, that's dangerous technology by itself. Like filters really should be outlawed. I'm dead serious. Because it's enough when you got people out here that can sit up there and spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on makeup to make themselves look like something that they're not. But then on top of doing that, you're also adding a filter? No, no, brother. No, 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 no. Oh no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Like I said, it's crazy. Crazy work. Marvin said a sound mind can tell the difference between real and AI. AI isn't there yet, but it soon will be. Oh boy, you'll be quite surprised. You will be quite. See, this is where I need people to, really do a lot of research on AI and the stuff that is specifically out there. Because what a lot of folks don't understand is that we're just dealing with the basic stuff. And again, a lot of this stuff is open source, which means that if people are smart enough to basically tinker with and work with certain stuff, you can produce your own and you could have it build upon itself. You can have it wired so that it's like, all right, I want you as my AI to take from the best other AI platforms to upgrade yourself to be better than, like, they've done tests on these and they've shown the outcomes that have taken place. This is also another reason why when it deals with a lot of this AI, they've put caps directly on it, because it'll get to a certain point where the AI will outgrow you. It'll start doing stuff that you didn't want it to specifically do. So all I'm saying is I don't want people to get to a point to think that we're not there when tech basically upgrades, quote unquote, every 6 months. Like, I put it to you like this. What is it about? Like any of my computer folks directly out here, right? We got to get brand new graphics cards, what they upgrade like every 6 months. That's going to be cut down pretty soon. It's going to be something probably to like every 3 at a point in time, because they're going to enlist and have AI basically build it. And once computers are basically building themselves, they know the imperfections. They know how to speed certain things up. They're going to be able to spot things before humans can even sit up there and spot it. And they're going to be able to do it more proficient, way quicker. And it's also going to come at a lower cost effect. Right. So again, you're going to have mass production of a lot of stuff that's going to be coming quick, fast, and in a hurry. And this is when a lot of tech is going to start to go modular, because a lot of the tech is going to be produced at such a fast rate and it's going to be so cheap to produce at that time that a lot of stuff is going to be modular. So you're going to have a lot of, let's say, like your flat screen televisions. Instead of you having to buy a new TV every single year or whatnot or whatever, they will basically produce the parts that you can basically buy. You can keep the frame, however the frame basically is for like the future flat screen TVs. You'll have those frames. You'll just be able to go out there and order or buy like a brand new screen that you could put on there, along with some other parts and things of that nature. If you don't know what anything modular is, what was the name of that phone? I talked about it with you guys about 3 to 4 years ago when it dealt with modular phones and devices. There was a modular company that came out with a modular phone where you were able to swap everything from, I think, the screen, it was the camera, the battery, the memory. You could actually make it bigger or smaller depending on what you wanted as. Like, that's how much control you had directly over your own cellular device. And for me, I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was cool. But Google bought that out and they didn't do nothing with it. So that's sitting on the back burner somewhere for us never to see at all. So this is why when you look at the cell phone market, we're all still dealing with the same phones. It don't matter if you go from like Android to Apple, all phones are pretty much the same minus the shape. They're all, quick. They all got these, nice cameras directly on there. But other than that, every phone does the exact same thing. It makes a call. You can web browse. You can dual screen and stuff like that, and and all this other type of stuff. But like I said, that's a whole nother ranting conversation for for a different topic. I went on a whole different, But like I said, welcome to the channel. This happens quite often. This happens quite often. Quite often. I see people in there talking about Skynet. I expected Mo to actually bring that up. I expected Mo to bring that up. Sham said once they're able to get graphics glitches fixed, it'll be hard to tell. Oh yeah. Yo, Bat, what is up? You said Seji, they made catfishing technology available. Folks can look like the opposite sex. Yeah, that's what I'm and yo, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I've already seen it. Like I said, they're running ads directly on this stuff and showcasing. You literally see somebody in a lower side of the screen, they're moving and making the faces, and then you see the actual image that they have, and it's a guy, and then on screen, it's a woman that you see. So you're looking at the hair flowing directly in the wind, you're looking at like the teeth, the faces. You can also switch how your voice sounds. Like I said, it's gonna be a wild time. It is going to be a very, very wild time. And the crazy part is going back to where did he go? Going back to what Marvin stated, where he was like, a sound mind can tell the difference. We're at the point in time where a lot of people are more so indoors. Shout out to the pandemic, because that's pretty much how it started. At one point in time, we were, more prone to be outside and be more social, but because of the pandemic, because of that 2.5 years, that pretty much cut a divide in that. It put a, I guess you could say, like a stopgap or whatever you want to, put it as, but it pretty much stopped it to a point where even right now you still can see that a lot of people have not really picked back up socially when they're out there in public. Things appear to be normal, but it's not the same as it was, pre-pandemic. It's not the same. Like how people were in 2019 is not how people are, at this moment in time, socially, engaging wise, and things of that nature. So a lot of folks, again, this is how a lot of folks are going to get tricked, because you have more people that, are not really socially there in a sense, or, still socially awkward, but they're even more so indoors. So a lot of that stuff is going to trick a lot of people. And it's going to be a large amount of the population, around the planet that are going to be tricked, by that. Like I said, it's crazy. It is crazy out here. There's more right there. Yeah, Skynet is inevitable. That is bars. that is straight bars. Straight bars. Marv was like, "Now you speaking real? That's scary." I'm telling you, it is like, I've watched the evolution, and people got to also understand this. During the pandemic was really when you started to see a lot of this AI stuff directly out there. At the very beginning, it was AI slop. So you had somebody make a video with Will Smith eating spaghetti or whatnot. It was looking like trash. Now you look at 2025, 2026, you're not going to be able to sit up there and tell the difference. If you pair it next to, another video of Will Smith, it might not be the same video, but if you look at the movements and everything and the voice, yeah, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. You are not going to be able to tell the difference. And again, that's just with the stuff that we can access as normal people. That's not to mention what these companies have. These companies have technology that would blow people's minds at this moment in time. And I put it to you like this, right? The other tragic and scariest part directly about this is that because of a lot of the editing that they could do, and because of the AI and how they can make a lot of things clean, and they can put different filters directly over stuff, this is how people can doctor videos to make it seem as though that somebody committed a crime that they didn't specifically do. This is going to make that 1,000 times easier. So if these cops out here want to really sit up there and lock somebody up, or if the government specifically wants to go after somebody, they have the technology to sit up there and set people up. They do. Trust me, they got billions of dollars. They got infinite money. They got the infinite money glitch, right? They got enough money to sit up there and do it, and they can employ the best of the best to make sure that it gets done. Like I said, you got all of these AI and tech facilities getting built all over the United States. Yeah, they got huge investments. It's just a matter of when they want to do it and who they want to specifically do it to. So again, that's the tragic and that's the scary part. And even to the extent of not even being like government or police based, you got ordinary people that could potentially do that to another person. You could potentially have a woman directly out here deciding that, oh, I want to sit up there and get back at my ex, so I'm going to fabricate a story. But because she's very smart and she knows her way around a computer and around AI, she can make, a certain type of prompt. She can tweak it and work on it, for over some years or some months or whatnot or whatever. And then she can basically be like, all right, this is the film and the video of what this guy specifically did to me. And she could be like, well, the reason that you don't really see him or you see parts of him is due to the fact of how the camera angle was, and I didn't want it to be obvious that I was recording or had a camera. Like I said, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, and we don't have laws in place to actually catch up and be ready for, you know, a lot of that stuff to take place. Marv said, I feel sorry for us millennials. We were born in a world that was more real, only to grow old in a world that's fake. You know, that's a pretty nice quote there. You might want to get that on a t-shirt. I'm dead serious. you might want to get that on a t-shirt. Not sure if that's your own quote or not, but you might want to t-shirt that one. That's pretty nice. I like that one. But yeah, that's bars though. That is bars. Yo, Sergeant, what is up? What is up? What is up? We got Lennar, what is up? What is up? What is going on? Much love, respect, and appreciation. We got Sergeant in the building. Said they've been telling us their plans for a long time now through their movies. That's facts. That's facts. Tippy said AI can be weaponized in the wrong hands. Y'all seen the movie Judge Dredd? 90s movies. Judge Dredd was framed. Dredd was framed for murder. In court, they showed him shooting someone, but he didn't do it, and it was a fake video. Yeah. Yep. Mud said the humans are going to be great compost for AI pretty soon. Hero said this man working overtime and she is funneling the ex's commissary. That is bars. That is bars. Like I said, people just gotta, people gotta be very worried and concerned. But anyways, to match up directly with this video, because I like to try to, put another perspective directly out there. We're going to take a look at what this guy has to state, dealing with this.
Toxic men, and they'll never admit it, but it's the truth. Every single time you hear about a girl getting back with her ex-boyfriend, it's always, oh, she's back with her toxic ex. It's never, oh, she's back with her sweetheart, nice guy ex-boyfriend. Never. I used to think the saying nice guys finish last was a lie, but it is 100% the truth. The sad reality is if you're too nice of a guy, you treat her well, you never fight, you let her walk all over you, she's going to get bored and move on. I was watching the new Sydney Sweeney movie, and the Glenn Powell guy asked her, why did you break up with him? He seems like a great guy. And she said, because we never fought. As soon as she said that line, I'm like, that is the most real thing I've ever heard. Once again, they won't admit it, but women love the emotional roller coaster. I was talking to a friend one time, and he hadn't talked to a girl in like 3 or 4 months, and he was on a date getting drinks with another girl, and he ran into the first girl for the first time in months. They made eye contact, didn't say hi, and guess who he gets a call from that night? The first girl. Everyone says that men love the chase because men will literally admit that they love the chase, but women love the chase way more. If a woman sees a guy out with another girl and she has talked to that guy before, it instantly makes her want him way more. If the talking stage or the relationship is toxic, it's an emotional roller coaster, there's some fighting, it makes her want him even more. Nice guys literally do finish last because women just get bored.
I'm just going to state that there were no lies told. The reason why I say that is because going back to the previous video here, this one right here basically stated that the guy that she is currently with, she's in a sense bored with him because if she wants to argue about something, the dude is like, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm about to just like walk off. I'm about to just go. He's not for none of the nonsense. And she wants somebody to feed directly into the BS, into the nonsense, into the chaos. Again, that's what she finds attractive. So going back to what she also said before, this is why she is more attracted to the guy that is locked up, because he's the one that will sit up there and give her or feed directly into that type of negative attention. He's not there to build her up. He's there to build her down. He's there to take her down a whole nother road, of which she admitted that she likes to sit up there and travel down quite frequently. She doesn't want to travel down a road that is well paved, that is secure, that has lights. She want to go through the worst, whole mud-ridden, pebbles, rocks, half a boulder in the mountain directly, in the road. She would rather go through something that might maybe have like some bandits, pirates, or whatnot, or whatever. She finds that to be more safe and attractive than a well-paved road that has all the security and you don't have to worry about nothing happening to you. Like I said, so going back to what this guy basically said, he didn't sit up there and tell no lies. She, in so many words, stated that she is bored with the newer guy, and she's more entertained with the guy that is inaccessible because of his own life choices, which inevitably led to him being locked up. Crazy work. Crazy work. And this is why I sat up there and said before that when it deals with, a lot of content like that, I wish that there was a way for a lot of women out there to monitor what their daughters are listening specifically into. Because I would at least want to say that I don't think that women would want their daughters to end up like this one here. Like she's just a failure. She's a failure. She's going to end up being with that dude that ain't no good for her. That's chaotic. He's probably going to lay hands directly on her if he doesn't end her life, and she's going to probably pop out quite a few kids. And then after that happens, and the relationship is still going nowhere, and the dude probably cheated on her multiple times throughout each one of those pregnancies, she's going to come back online some years later and say that men ain't no good, and all they do is this and all they do is that. Not specifically telling people that she decided to mess with the worst type. But again, she's going to make a blanketed statement, talk about all men ain't this and how these men don't want to take care of their kids. You chose the guy. You're literally in a relationship and you're emotionally cheating. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there might be some lead in the water or something. I don't know. So now we're going to, take it to a whole nother angle.
Hear about healthy relationships.
And like I said, I try to make it as balanced as possible. So I showed you one woman that was ignorant, that is consistently inconsistent, and we're going to listen to a woman that actually has her head on straight and that has common sense, right? So let's take a listen.
The reason why you don't hear about healthy relationships anymore is because of the fact that those of us in healthy relationships ain't got to say to y'all. Because anytime we tell you what we do for our husband or what our husband does for us, y'all look for any reason to try to come up with some type of excuse or some type of narrative that we're being controlled or that we're not really happy or I would never do that. Is exactly why you're miserable is still single, and exactly why no matter who you try to date or what you try to date, you still end up unhappy because you have this long list of what you feel like is supposed to come from a relationship, yet you don't want to be able to, you just want to be on the receiving end. Relationships are give and take. I can't remember the last time that I did laundry, but I will be out here taking the trash out because I don't give a I would rather take the trash out than to be downstairs doing laundry. I don't want to. I don't like laundry. But if I tell y'all, oh, yeah, I take the trash out. What? You take the trash out? You're a woman. You shouldn't be taking out the trash. That's a man's job. Your man does the laundry? You should be doing that. You're the woman. Like, when it comes to a healthy relationship, there is no gender roles. I do what I want to do and he does what he wants to do. And it ends up working out together because I do. And it just so happens that what he doesn't like to do, I don't mind doing. And what he doesn't like to do, what I don't like to do, he doesn't mind doing. Like, y'all are weird. My husband cooks probably most of the time. My husband taught me how to cook because I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to season. I was raised by the Caucasians. No offense, but I didn't know how to cook. So he taught me how to cook. He does most of the cooking. And when he gets done cooking, I serve him his plate. I serve him, and then once he's done eating, he gets up and leaves, and I take his plate. And I go there, and I clean the kitchen up. Like, the reason why we don't be talking about how good our relationship is or how healthy it is because y'all's little toxic ass be coming in there trying to say something crazy, yet y'all are the single ones. Make that make.
And she's correct. She's correct. And I've seen it before. Like I said, I've covered videos like that before. One video where there was a black father that took a picture with him and his daughter, and you had women come directly out of nowhere and decide to start talking sideways about the father and questioning the picture. I'm like, what? I'm like, that is wild to me. Matter of fact, I was able to actually pull that up. Let me showcase this nonsense directly to you and put it in front of you. Right? Wait, did I have like multiple comments? Yeah, okay. So let me just do it in a group. All images. I got like 3 pictures of some of the comments directly up there. See, a download as a PNG. And then I gotta go through and open a file. like I said, and this is why I tried to tell people before. Again, I just want to. I feel like I got to put like a what's the name directly out there. This is not a what people want to consider. Oh, this is a hit piece on black women. No, it's to sit up there and talk about the women that are amongst you, that decide that this is the type of stuff that they like to do. Again, which is crazy. Let me see if I can find the folder. There we go. Right. So it might be a little bit small. My apologies. So you got one of the images directly in front of you. Right. Let me go back to it. So it said, this is what a black father has to do. And this is a video from like years and years ago. Right. And the person up top, Leela Brown, she said he looks like a CM, and protect our girls. Another person said, what was it? What was it? Person, I think, from my comment section that I highlighted. She said, but black women, yeah, but a black woman stated that. Why aren't you harping directly on that? Another person to the side made a comment. She said, I wish y'all would stop using this rhetoric to get more views. Couldn't have kept out from a black woman, and your post still would have made sense. She also replied, said, he's the second coming. Thanks for the pin. I'm unfollowing. So again, this is not my first time talking about this or covering this stuff before, and this is why I've also heavily on my platform given so much love and appreciation to black fathers or black stepfathers, or even black male role models that are directly in children's lives, because it's an uphill battle even when it deals with social media. Again, this is a father who wanted to take a picture with his daughter. There's nothing wrong with this picture at all, but yet he was automatically demonized and turned into a villain, especially by women who got platforms that got tons of other black women specifically, following them and hanging on every single word. So again, if this bird, the Leela Brown, whatever her name is, if she decides to say one thing, the rest of the women, they're going to be sitting up there flocking and repeating the exact same nonsense, right? So then to take that a step further, we'll go right back and look at another response directly here, because again, like I told y'all before, I like to sit up there and show proof to what it is that I'm talking about. What's going on? Who thought I had to sneeze? Let me see. Next, let me go back to it real quick. Which one is that? Okay, that's the orange. Gotcha. She said, is there more to the story or something? I wish my girls had the opportunity to do such a thing. My kids' dads decided to only want to be a dad. Sometimes there's next to nothing, but always has a black woman on his arm condoning his behavior. That's part of the problem as well. The picture is beautiful. So again, you have some people directly from the channel that decided to, hey, this really isn't all bad. This ain't, really what y'all trying to, make it out to be, and all this other type of stuff, and yada, yada, yada. Next image that we got directly up there, and I got another image as well too, that specifically deals with this. Was that was one? And yeah, and this is the main one that was directly down there. So whenever I happen to point out issues or problems when it deals with rhetoric like this, instead of women like this who decide that they want to question me or have a problem, they state that I'm about to just sit up there and unfollow you. You obviously just hate black women and all this other type of. Nah, I'm trying to sit up there and save black women from other black women like this. That's the main point. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. And I try to tell people before, if people want to sit up there and tell me that all black women ain't the same, that's cool. I need the real black women to separate themselves from the birds, because in a lot of extent, a lot of black women are standing so close together that you can't sit up there and tell the difference. That's the problem. And a lot of black women want to sit up there and defend other black women out there, even though they know what these other folks that I'm highlighting are into or doing the wrong things. They'll be like, there's still a black woman at the end of the day. You should be talking against her. You should be saying this and da-da-da and all this other. Focus on the men. Now, like I said, you're not about to sit up there and pull up to the scene on social media. As long as I got social media, you're not about to pull up to the scene and decide to talk negatively about a black man, the same black man that people want to sit up there and run around and say is not there. That's some type of stereotype that wants to go around and leave broken homes and all this other type of stuff that people just love to talk about negatively. And again, that was like 3 years ago. I think from what I looked at, that was like 3 years ago that I did any editing or anything to that. And the craziest part is how bad this technically got was the fact that the wife of the guy had to pull up and she had to defend her husband in the comment section. I think I did like a response video directly on that somewhere on the channel. I didn't highlight the comment here. That was about Hines and them saying that black fathers don't exist. But there we go. Let me. Yeah. So this is the wife that you see directly on the side of the picture. I wish I actually had the video I could actually go over real quick. Right. So this is one of the other family. Oh wait, it didn't go up yet. Okay, let me remove that one and put that one up. Okay, yeah. So this is one of the other photos that they had directly up there that the woman had a comment directly about. You got the father, you got the daughter, you got the mother, and the mother is also pregnant. So they got, another one directly on the way. Again, like I said before, I do my best to try to highlight a lot of this stuff so that black women out here who ain't about this life, who ain't about talking all this nonsense out here, can separate themselves from the birds. Again, like I said, I can only sit up there and make it as clear and as like I said, I think I'm talking English. I think I'm speaking as best as I can. Yep, I already see him too. Somebody got thrown into the Bermuda Triangle. Shout out to Timon, because I ain't see that at first. Bat said they're trying to divide the black family. Seji, this is all planned in the dominant society. Oh yeah. Marvin said that looks like a man that will protect his daughter. Yep. Tippy said, do they call the man a CM when pregnant women take pictures, pregnant and they get holding their child crickets? I mean, that's a very good point. And I showcased a picture like that when it dealt with I think it was like Jess Hilarious. Jess Hilarious took a picture like that with her son. And like I said, it's it's whatever. Like I said, I don't got nothing to say. I don't got nothing to say because I know that, because this is the way I try to look at it. Right. So you got women out here that'll take pictures like that, right? And I want to say that little boy was probably about maybe 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, somewhere up in there, right? If a father decided to take a picture like that with his daughter, we already know what people would say. We already know. We already before anybody even types it, we already know what people would sit up there and say if a father decided to take a picture like that with his daughter. Even if it was with a son, whatever child it is, we know how that would sit up there and go, right? Just like if a mother decides that she want to take a bath directly, with her kids, it's all it's cool and fine. It's it's all cute and all this other type of stuff. Nobody's worried about nothing. If a father sits up there and does that exact same thing, even like I'm talking about, he has shorts on and he's just sitting up there playing, got the super soaker, the water guns and all that. People are still trying to. Oh no, that's weird. Like why would you be in there and all? Like I said, I try to look at things equally. I try to think about it. I try to look at it is from the exact same stance. But like I said, it's whatever. People got it. It is, it's crazy work. Well, Tippy, I can't highlight what you stated because of the word that is directly in there, because YouTube gets a little bit funny with stuff. I see the most recent comment. I read it out though. You said double standards. They call this father a CM, but crickets when pregnant women take pictures naked with their children, and that is weird to me. Technically, you wrote the same thing, actually. Just saying, technically. But yeah, that is some wild work out here. Um, wait, which grandma era? Oh wait, what was the grandma era now? I thought you edited that on purpose. I'm talking about the CM part. Kindness or weakness. Let me go back up real quick. Hold on, let me see something. Did he call this man a CM when pregnant woman? Yeah, when pregnant women take pictures, they go on the kill. Double standard. They called his father a CM, but crickets when pregnant women take pictures naked with their. I mean, well, for me, I already knew what you were saying, so it didn't look too, what's the name? you already know I could tell what you sitting up there like writing and saying. So for me, it didn't matter because I got what you were saying. But yeah, I saw what you wrote down below at the last minute. My bad. He said such a huge grammar error. Comment take it down. My bad. My bad, Timmy. My bad. Chief, yo, what is up? You said they quick to believe everything negative when it comes to anything black, and we are oppressed and exactly where they want us to be. Timmy said, "Yeah, I put do instead of so." Oh no, I got you. It's all good. Shauna said, so I don't understand. Wait, I'm confused. I'm confused what Shauna's talking about. Okay. You were explaining to her about the comment. Okay, got you. But yeah, like I said, it's crazy out here. And again, shout out to where's that lady at? Shout out to her because
do that is
got-
exactly why
you got women like this, and I've talked about it before. How you got women like this who make content, and they make positive content, and they also critique a lot of the nonsense out here. Where you got other women out here speaking, quite crazily. And I've seen time and time again women like this, they get attacked, even if they're married, engaged, or whatever it is. You got, oh, you're just a pick me, you're just specifically, you're male centered, you're not actually for women, you're against women, and for the other side, you're holding up the patriarchy instead of investing and trying to build up the matriarchy and all this other type of stuff, and you're helping them to oppress it. Man, they be talking all of this type of. It's crazy. It's like how you have snake oil salesmen in the church. That's the exact same thing when it deals with other women out here trying to make other women feel bad for being in a relationship with a guy, or for loving a guy and wanting a family, or to be married and engaged and all this. Like I said, it's crazy, man. It is wild work. Sham said that a lot of women got to work on themselves, get therapy, sort out their past bad behaviors. It just feels like 5 minutes of fame. It's making them worse when they post on TikTok, when they post their business on TikTok. I got you. Yeah, that's facts. Tippy said, I want some apple juice. Yo, I had one of those apple juice boxes in a minute. I saw her with one of those. I'm like, yo, I ain't seen a juicy juice in a while. And I'm like, she just had that bad boy sitting there. And I think she had like a bowl from like Chipotle or something like that. They got to be Chipotle, I think it is. Or maybe it might be somewhere else. But she might have had, was it a salad that she had or a burrito bowl? I don't know. But yeah, that I don't know what it is, but can't nobody tell me no different when the apple juice comes from like the small box. I swear it just tastes better. Maybe it's just me, but I swear to you, it just tastes better. What was it? Wait, you said Mo said somebody's comment got help for review. Oh snap. Tippy said her skin is flawless. Shauna said, my D-Love started laughing. I'm dead serious. Like maybe it's just me. I don't know. Let me tell you something. Speaking of which, hold on, let me just roll up to the part where she had the juicy juice box. Well, I ain't trying to have her like looking all crazy. Okay, yeah, there we go. But let me tell you something. The one thing that I enjoy, this is like a whole side conversation. The one thing that I heavily enjoy about being an adult is the fact that I can go out there and buy the stuff that I wasn't able to readily get as a child. So, anytime I happen to get cereal, I'm not getting no bran flakes. We're not getting no raisin bran, no corn flakes, no Wheaties. We're getting like Fruit Loops. We're getting Fruity Pebbles. We're getting like Trick cereal, Captain Crunch, Oops All Berries. We getting all of the stuff that you were not able to get. That it was a luxury, to actually get. Along with the other types of things. So you got like the ice cream, that you may want. Even when it deals with like the fast food, you might not have been able to get that frequently either. Again, it was you might have been able to get that on like some Sundays or some Fridays or something like that, or maybe Saturday. Uh, so it's like, yeah. I think somebody made the quote before where they said that I think, what was it? Did they say like the millennials? I forgot which generational era that they basically said, but they said that the generation, the adults of like now are pretty much like just big kids. And I'm like, yeah, I'll tend to agree. We got the game systems. We got the PC gaming, directly going. We got all the junk food in the world. Yeah. Yeah. we are, sitting up there watching anime, reading mangas, and going through comic books. Yeah. We are enjoying life and doing the stuff that we really did not get to do or had access to because we just didn't have the money during the time. It wasn't feasible. So I was like, yeah, I want I wouldn't that is a fact. I am right there. Sham said, yeah, that's why I don't watch a lot of social media content because their bashing versus self-help care is getting out of control. That is true. Shauna said, my husband gave her a bath until she was older. Oh, okay, you're talking about the whole thing dealing with like the kids. I got you. Sham said, even the ones who whose life is not wild or crazy, you don't see them volunteering in the community trying to help others to solve problems, just out here talking crazy. That's facts. Tibby said, I hate fruity cereal, but you are what you eat. Wow, that's crazy. That's diabolical. Word, Tippy. It be your own people. It be your own people. I swear to goodness, it be your own people. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Like I said, any which of the cereals directly out there is it's great cereals. Let me tell you, stop hating, Tippy. You also had a cinnamon toast crunch. You had the Oreo cereal. I forgot wasn't it just called Oreo cereal? I think it was, but yeah, like I said, I don't discriminate when it deals with cereal, except when it's old cereal. I'm sorry. So my apologies to anybody who gets offended. For those who like cornflakes, raisin bran, and what is it? Not Wheatios. What is that? What is that called? Wheat Thins or whatever it is. Any of those adult cereals out there? Yeah, my apologies. For people that may feel like shots are being fired. It'd be like that. I like cereals that actually taste like something, not cardboard or just like old age. I need cereal that got some life to it. They got some life. Tippy said, what was it? D Love said, yep. Then I had kids and I switched up from time to time because stuff is expensive. Yeah. Yep. I understand that. But see, I know the problem that may happen is like if you have the cereals that you like from like childhood and then you got kids, now your kids are going to be going for your cereal instead of going for the ones that you bought specifically for them. So that's going to be a whole another thing. Now your box is going to be like half empty. And especially if it's like Fruity Pebbles, like how thin the box, man, that's a whole nother conversation. Like even dealing with like the boxes of cereal and how thin the boxes have gotten over years. Like it's crazy. Like it's like it's a disservice. We got Marvin. He said that Cookie Crisp. Oh yeah. Yep. Tippy said frosted mini wheats is good. Yeah, Tippy, that's kind of like some old cereal right there. I'm just gonna, you would normally see if somebody got some frosted mini wheats, then they'll get like the warm milk and pour it on. No. I ain't about that life. Tippy said I like Cocoa Puffs. Okay, that's different. See, now we're getting into something that makes some sense. Cocoa Puffs is cool. I can roll with that. I'm cool with that. Marvin said the worst one was grape nuts. I don't even know that cereal. Like that's how bad that is. That cereal doesn't even register. maybe they might have had commercials for it at a moment in time, but that is not. I can't even pull nothing from you. It was like it was erased. If I did see it, I can't even recall a commercial. That's how bad it was. Timmy said my favorite was Golden Grams. All right, okay. See, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Mo said just add sugar to any bland cereal, automatically makes it better. Nah. Certain cereals, it don't be fine. Originally, when I think what was it, like early 2000s when the Oreo cereal came out, even if you added sugar to that, because it was like a bitter chocolatey type of thing. Because it was so bitter, even if you add sugar to it, you had to add so much to it that it wasn't even worth it. And I'm like, if I'm going to add sugar to anything, I might as well get a big box of like Rice Krispies and add sugar directly to that, and eat the cereal. What did Tiffany say? She said, and next to Golden Grams is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I think, didn't I bring up Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I think I did. Possibly. I think I might have brought up some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Sham said, "LOL, I got adults eat up my cereal and my snacks while my mom like my snacks." It be like that. It'd be like that because a lot of our parents are still, in a sense, like kids at heart too, and they want to be able to enjoy it too. And now they're at the age where it's like, all right, well, I don't really got to adult the same way that I used to, and everybody's old enough, so I'm about to start, going directly into the cereals and the ice cream and stuff. Bat said y'all even had a good Cheerios. Have I had really Cheerios? I can't say that I have. I know that you did have a lot of people at a certain time. They used to love like the Honey Nut Cheerios, the original. And then they started coming up with the other one that's like they got the banana, the strawberry, the vanilla. They had the chocolate. And I think they might have had one other flavor directly there with it. I know when my grandmother was alive, she would mainly have Cheerios and she would cut up different fruit to be in there. So you would have like the strawberries, the bananas, and stuff like that, and they would eat it like that. Like I said, it looked like something from the commercial, but it just was not my type of cereal to eat at that time. But as you get older, it's like then you start to open up to a lot of different stuff, and it's like, technically it wasn't that bad. I'm still not there yet, though. Still not there. Sham said my favorite is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and everyone in my house do too. Yeah, you're gonna get robbed for your cereal. That you're gonna have to buy like several boxes. But I told people before, the best when it deals with cereal and certain ones, I think was it Honey Grams? I think it was Honey Grams, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and one other. When they used to come, again, if people are old enough, when the cereal used to come in the wax foil type of paper, not paper, but the type of bag, that was the best one because it would actually keep the cereal's freshness. When it deals with these semi-clear plastic bags, it's terrible. Like that cereal is going to be done pretty much in a week if you don't have it in encapsulated in something else. Right. So if you don't have like some specific Tupperware for cereal with a nice airtight cap, or if you're not using what is it? What is that? What's the name called for the chips? I forgot what it was, but the what's the name that you put on the bags of chips to make sure that it's closed, or even just use like a piece of tape. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be dead real quick. Sham said my favorite Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Everybody in my house too. Tippy said Cookie Crisp is good. Yeah, that was the one with the little dog. Cookie Crisp. Sham said I like Honey Nut Cheerios. I hate Captain Crunch. Man, y'all some haters out here. Y'all some straight haters out here. I mean, I can get the hate for Captain Crunch, because it's like razor blades. It's roof cutters. That's what it does. But it tastes great though. I mean, to me, you got to have Oops All Berries. You can't just have Captain Crunch. You got to go to Captain Crunch and berries, or you got to go Oops All Berries. If you're just doing the original Captain Crunch like people did from like the 70s and the 80s, I feel sorry for you. Godspeed. I can't do it. DJ said, bro, been on the internet for a while. Salute, sir. Hey, much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Tippy said, Raisin Bran is trash, horrible. That's facts. Yo, Mahoko. Mahoko said, Fruit Loops, cinnamon Cheerios are both amazing. Mahoko also said that might have to pick up some today. Yeah. Yeah, the next time I go grocery shop, I'm gonna have to get me some boxes. You know, the funniest thing is, I'm more so into cereals that have like marshmallows in it. So now it's Lucky Charms. Depending on how many charms are actually in there, because they get a little bit stingy with the marshmallow. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but they get real stingy. The other thing that I don't like is when you got celebrities out here that just so happen to hear some stuff from a cereal company, and they be like, "Oh, you like our cereal? No problem. We're going to send you a box of Lucky Charms, and it's all charms." Brother, I wanted that my whole life. And you mean to tell me that because somebody is a Kardashian, they get a box of Lucky Charms that's nothing but all charms? That's sacrilege. That should be illegal. Like some laws. I don't know what laws have been broken. Some laws around the world were broken that day. Because I'm like, I would have paid for that box, even as ridiculous as it sounds, just for the one time. Like, I'll buy that box for $10. Hand it over. Just one time. Just one time in my life. That's all I want. But it never happened. Nothing for the average person. Nothing but an average person. Tippy said honeycombs is good, and I like Captain Crunch. The other cereal I forgot about, Apple Jacks. That is a classic. The best part for me for Apple Jacks is the bottom of the bag, the confetti. Good stuff, beautiful stuff. Technically, I feel like it's that way when it deals with a lot of other cereals too. They got a lot of flavor directly to it, and it also helps with the milk. Good stuff. Good stuff. Mahoko said Captain Crunch too. Tippy said I like cereal with marshmallows. Yep, same here. Tippy said a bowl of your favorite cereal and Saturday, Sunday cartoons in the morning. Hello, I'm a big kid. Yeah, like I said, what you think I'll be sitting up there doing? Early in the morning, sometimes I'll sit up there and be like, "Oh, YouTube, let me sit up there and look up some old Toonami. Let me check out the Rising Sun. Let me see who has 2 hours long of one Saturday morning or something like that. I'm just sitting up there watching cartoons, Transformers, Beast Wars, all of that. Sham said I like Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cheerios, and this cereal that was like chocolate O's, but it wasn't. It was what, Cheerio toasted like an Oreo cookie. I think I know what you're talking about. D Love said that's the best. Remember Sugar Bears? Yeah, I remember those. I do remember those. I do. Rabbit said, does it matter how much fat milk contains to you? Me personally, it doesn't matter. At one point I used to sit up there and drink whole milk when I had my cereals, and then I don't know why I said cereals is plural. But yeah, whenever I had my cereal, it used to be whole milk. And then it got to the point where the smell of whole milk just disgusted me, and I just left. And now I just, like, for years now, I've been just using almond milk, but more so for me specifically because I like a certain type of flavor directly to it. I like the almond milk with a hint of honey. Because the plain almond milk does not have like a taste or flavor directly to it, but when you have the hint of honey, it actually adds a little bit of something extra to a lot of other cereals that you eat. So I would say give that a try, and see how you may like that. But like I said, that the moment in time that I found that, I'm like, it was over. It was almond milk from that time forward, and then on top of that, it doesn't have like the smell of butt. It's just like this, that's the best way I can sit up there and put it. I can't put it no other way. It just whole milk, it just smells crazy. Sham said Captain Crunch hurt. I've cut my gums and the roof of my mouth all the time. I'd rather just eat berry crunch where it was all berries and save my poor mouth. I mean, yeah, I get that. Yeah, the roof of your mouth is, it's gonna be, it's tough. The funniest thing is, out of all the places that you could happen to like toughen up the skin or get calluses, it's like the roof of the mouth. It just does not happen. It's like no matter what, you can be eating Captain Crunch for years, and the same thing is going to happen. It's wild. It is wild. Timmy said peanut butter crunch cereals. I'm not really a peanut butter fan like that. Yeah, I mean, you got that. You got that though. I'm not going to disagree with you, but it's not my cup of tea. Tippy said, do you shop at Whole Foods, Seji? And what's your daily grocery list items? I mean, I shopped at Whole Foods when I worked at Whole Foods. And like I told y'all before, that was even with a discount. a little bit of stuff. Like, so I put it to you like this, right? Um, if you happen to go to Whole Foods, they have certain things that are in house that taste great. So if you go to Whole Foods, let's say you might get the not tortillas. You'll get the chips, like the normal chips that you would get at like a Mexican restaurant, right? That they would like make, they just like fry it and make it up and season it. You get a bag of that, and then they have this in-home guacamole that has like some lime, or I think it's like lemon directly to it. It's great. I was never even like a guacamole type of like person up until I went to, Whole Foods, and I worked at Whole Foods, and I actually gave that a try. That in-house, like, that is beautiful. And they do make it in-house because there's ladies from, at least when I was working at the one I was at, there's ladies that come in. I think it was about what they would start their day about around like 3 or like 4 a.m. They would get the produce as it comes in, and then they would be downstairs in like the refrigeration slash kitchen area, and they'll start, making the guacamole and other stuff like that. Another thing that I love from Whole Foods is the in-house chicken that they would do. They would have like the chicken wings, and it would have like the General Tso, or I think it was like teriyaki, and what was it was like, I think another was called like Big Bang. Like, they got, a few different like flavors when it deals with like their wings and whatnot. I used to have that for lunch. I would have like one set, because when I first get there, it's like, all right, I didn't eat dinner, so this is technically my little bit of dinner. Get like a loaf of bread. I eat half of that with, like the chicken, and then, pack that up, and I eat the rest of it when it's actually, lunchtime, which is usually around 12 or like 1 o'clock. Right. So that's what, I would tend to do. Now, if I was coming home, what would I normally buy? That's a good question. Um, Technically it would probably be like, bagels, family size of orange juice, some Philly cheese, and I think technically that was it. Because I'm like, it would be pretty simple. If I didn't get anything from Whole Foods, then I was getting something from the um what was it? From the Subway, because Subway would open up around like 7 a.m. or whatnot or whatever. So I could stop directly over there, get like two, Subway sandwiches, and be directly, on my way. So I would do, stuff like that. That is how it would be. Mahoko said Apple Jacks are mad good. That's bars. Hack said, yo, what is up? Hack said, Honey Nut Cheerios supremacy. This man. Yo, shoot, what is up? You said Kellogg's corn pops were also good. Yeah. Well, if you're talking about like the original recipe, type thing, sort of like KFC, yeah. And again, it got to be in that foil, type of bag for it to, really have that actual. Like, I'm talking about like when you had the cereals that like I think it was like Golden Grams or whatever it was, that had like, I guess the glaze or the honey, directly on it. And when you touched it, it was actually, like sticky, so you knew it was there. Like, that's the type of, cereal that was great, during that time period, right? The original recipe. Sham said, I still drink whole milk, but from Fairlife. Okay. Never tried them. RS1 said water and cereal. I do not think that I've ever tried that. I don't think I've ever tried that before. Just to be honest, I mean, I know that's like, some old school stuff. Like, hey, if stuff, really ain't in the fridge, you got to just make it work. So I get that. Mo said cow milk is trash. Tippy said almond milk for me, or lactate milk. Right. Lactose intolerant. Got you. D Love said that I like vanilla soy milk, but I put it in the freezer to wait and make it like a sushi, or is that slushy or something like that? But I kind of get what you're saying. RS said the roof of the mouth is tender. Yeah, it is. It is. Song said Coca Crisp. Wait, Coca Crisp. Wait, do I remember that? I might have to wait. Let me look that up. Coca Crisp. Hold on. Let me look that up. Okay. You talking about the Cocoa Krispies? Okay, I got you. I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. You talking about the chocolate Rice Krispies? I got you. Because that was throwing me off real quick. I'm like, wait, Cocoa Krispies. I'm like, this throwing me off. But yeah, I got you. Yo, Pink, what is up? You said Fruity Pebbles, Frosted Flakes, and Lucky Charms are the best. And yeah, that's what I was thinking about earlier. Frankenberry. Thank you, Frankenberry. Actually, I like Frankenberry and Blueberry. Good cereals, and those cereals, the marshmallows, they tend to bleed better in the milk. So you have more of the flavor of the cereal in the milk as you keep pouring bowls and eating and stuff. Bishop said Pac-Man was the best marshmallow cereal. That got to be from the 80s, because I do not remember that at all. Let me see. That got to be from that was from the 80s. Yeah, I got because I'm looking at the cereal box. Yeah, that got to be like 70s, 80s. I'm looking at the clear bowl directly down there too. Yeah, yep. Yes, indeed. Looking at some classic work right there. Man, I would have. The funniest thing is, I would have tried that cereal out, but never got a chance to though. So it be like that. Never get a chance to try out any of that nice handy dandy cereal. Let me see. Hack said old school Golden Grams hit hard. Yeah, that's true. Sham said I can't have soy milk. If I do non-dairy, it'll be almond milk, silk, or coconut silk. Okay, got you. Wait, I'm highly confused. I don't even know what that last comment even means. Yeah, I don't even know what that last comment means. That threw me off. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, side comments, directly out here. Side conversations. Some a little bit different. Like I said, maybe I might start off a live stream and just have a live stream just specifically about like old school type stuff. One of these days, I might sit up there and just do that. I got to make sure to have like some pictures and stuff directly up there. It's like reference points and whatnot. Oh wait, song said for real said you Apple Jacks, bottom of the bag. Oh yeah. That's bars. That's bars. 100% facts. 100%. 100%. And the craziest part is the bottom of the bag. It didn't really work that well with certain cereals, which was crazy. What was one of them? Like for Trick cereal, it didn't work that well. Lucky Charms, it doesn't work that well either. Because you'll have more lucky, like type of stuff down there versus the actual charm, which is wild to me. 100%. D Love said, "Yep, I meant slush." Okay, yeah, I got you. Sham said, "Whoop, I got my watercolor paints today." Oh, that's dope. I remember when I had some watercolor paints. That was back when I was younger. I used to mess around with like red clay. I had water paints, and I don't think I ever had acrylic. And I used to have my Prism Color Art pencils. Man, I can still remember the smell of those. One of these days, I'll make sure to sit up there and buy me some more. I remember when I first got my first pack of Prism Color pencils. So those are very good. But it's also been a very long time since I've actually taken the option to draw anything. So, yep, I'm in retired mode at this moment in time. Mo said, this man said shaves her arm with a teaspoon. That's crazy. D Love said that would be dope. Wait, what you talking about? You talking about drawing, or are you talking about the different cereals? Sham said I do acrylics, color pencils. Oh no. Okay, so you were talking about the live stream where to talk about like old school stuff. I got you. I got you. Sham said I do acrylics, color pencils, watercolors, and graphite pencils. Ah, yeah. I think the favorite pencil I used to love to draw with were the mechanicals because I loved how sharp they were, and because they were so sharp, you didn't have to worry about trying to um, sharpen a pencil or one part or even it break. I mean, technically with the mechanicals, you do have to worry about the breakage, so you gotta kind of be a little bit sensitive, directly with it. Um, but if you ever wanted to draw, like sharp lines or certain, types of lines, like very fine lines, you could do it with those. And then also the grip on it too was also pretty great as well too. And I lost all of that. I got to get that back. Um, Tippy said you should do a vlog and show us how you cook your salmon. You did it before, and timeout mode. He's bullying me again. Oh, it's crazy. Um, I mean, but the salmon that I fixed, that was specifically from Walmart. So we're not gonna, really count that one in a sense. That was way back, when. And the funniest thing is I still get comments from that video. Like somebody was telling me that they don't see what was wrong with that value Walmart fish. I'm like, there's everything wrong with this. So I'm like, this was it just wasn't it. Like I like if I fry the fish and it turns into cardboard, like that just should not be a thing. Like that it just wasn't, because when I actually get a real piece of salmon and I fry it up, that's not what happens. Or even if I put it in the air fryer, that's not what happens. So yes, something that fish was just trash. That fish was trash. And that's why I told people, do not buy that Walmart, that value, whatever it is. Don't buy that trash. Do not do it. It is valued trash. That's exactly what it is. This man Hack said I used to do lines of Apple Jacks in the 80s. D Love said I was talking about the old school. Oh yeah, no problem. I got you. I got you. Tippy said Mo collects his pharmacist breaking. This woman Sham said, yeah, I had to buy pro watercolors, a set of 12. It's like $80. I needed otherwise, and it won't work well on cotton paper. Okay, I got you. So man, Mo said Tippy flies kites in a snowstorm. That is wild. That is wild. Let me tell you something. This man said Tippy skips rocks in her bathtub. Oh, that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. But yeah. Like I said, stuff out here is out here is pretty crazy. But yeah, that'll be a thought. Sit up there and have a old school type of live stream that everybody can just pull up to, and we just reminiscing, about some stuff. That'll be pretty dope. I got to figure out when to do that one. So I just have all the stuff laid out directly on the on the stream, some different videos and things like that. I would actually want to play some old trailers of some stuff, but I'm like, I know the company's going to sit up there and like hit me on some stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna do that. Not gonna do that one. Sham was like, why y'all bullying Tippy again? I didn't do nothing. D Love said I stopped buying Walmart meat 4 years ago. I saw a special. Yep. Raw Bishop said early 80s. Okay, so you talking about the Pac-Man cereal? Yeah. Yep. Sham said that sounds fun. D Love up there laughing at Mo. Sham said game while you do it and like some retro games. I could probably do that. I would actually have to pick up. You know what the funniest thing is? Later on this month, we will have on Xbox, there's going to be some retro games that are going to be accessible, that are going to be free to play. So, like Pitfall and is Pole Position going to be up there? I forgot, but I would have to go through the list, and there are some some older games that I can sit up there and play while doing a live stream and sitting up there like reminiscing and stuff like that. So yeah, I could do that, and that makes it easier as well too, because I'm pretty sure a lot of folks up here be like, will swear they still got it, in a lot of these games. I'm like, I don't think you still got it. I don't think you still got it. That is crazy. Wow, Tiffy. The spaghetti sauce? That is wild. Bishop said it was like Lucky Charms, but the non-charm cereal was good too. Oh, okay. If they happen to recontinue that, I'll sit up there and pick up a box and try it. I will try it. D love up here laughing at Tippy. Mo was like, yo, that is crazy. Like, that's crazy. Even Mo was actually taken aback. Out of all the stuff that Mo has said throughout the years, this is the one where Mo was like, I got to take a step back. That is wild. That is wild. Yo, D Money, what is up? What is up? D Money said Tippy starts with us. There wants to cry victim. Yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. That is wild. Oh man, that's why I can't take y'all nowhere. This is exactly why I can't sit up there and take y'all nowhere. Let me tell y'all something. Also on top of that, I'm not sure. I mean, this should technically be the year for a lot of gamers out there where we get some GTA potentially. Not sure. Matter of fact, where's my controller at? Oh, I gotta take this off of YouTube real quick, so I can go to the Microsoft Store. Also, for anybody that is into fighting games, just to let you know, 2XKO will be I think it's supposed to be launching this month. So that'll be a game to look directly out for. Technically, I have it pre-downloaded because if you got an Xbox, you can technically pre-download it. It came up to about like 3.7 gigs. It's it's an actual like tag team game where it's like, all right, player one controls this character, player two controls the other character and stuff like that. Art wise, it looks pretty nice and pretty great. The only warning that I sit up there and give for a lot of people, again, I've been out of fighting games for quite some time. But PC players have had access to this fighter for quite a few years. So yeah, you're going to be getting stumped directly out here. When you try to play directly online, people just going to be pulling out, combos and tech that they've been perfecting for, quite some time and stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle up until people get used to it. So if I go directly to the store, technically a lot of stuff right now is looking like trash. You got Dragon Quest, you got My Hero that's about to come out if anybody's interested in that. You got Carmageddon Rogue Shift. You got the Yakuza 3 Dark Tales Deluxe Edition. You got Reanimal. You got High on Life. And again, I'm just talking about from like the Xbox side. You got a Star Trek game. You got Styx. You got No Sleep for Kaname. Of course, you got Resident Evil Requiem. That's going to be coming out pretty soon. You got Fatal Frame 2. You got the John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, but that's in March, which technically it's not that far. Monster Hunter Stories 3. You got Crimson Desert. You got a racer by the name of Screamer. You got Pragmata. I think, what is that, more so towards April? Yes, April. Then you got Mega Man Megaforce. 007. I'm not sure who's buying that 007 game. What does that come out? That's in May. And then you got Batman, Lego Batman. That's probably going to be one of the, I feel like that Lego Batman game, when it comes out, that should actually sell pretty decently because of the stuff that's actually in there and whatnot. And plus, everybody loves Legos. Case in point, look at Fortnite. And I've been in Legoland in Fortnite, and I've just stayed there. Like, I kid you not. It's actually pretty fun. Um, but yeah, it's it's some stuff directly up there that people can check out and play. Also, if anybody is on the Xbox and Microsoft side, we do have a state of play. I mean, not what is a state of play? I mean, but they got games that'll show off on the 22nd. So also be on the lookout for that as well. I'm trying to see if they got some other games. They got Metaphora up there. They don't really got nothing at this moment. It's nothing big that anybody would really play. It's more so like a lot of indie games up here that I'm going directly through. Trying to find some other stuff directly up here. Yeah, other than that, I cannot really give y'all anything else. Other than the updates for Grounded. I mean, I'm treating this like it's a gaming channel right now. All of this retro talk got me directly into looking into games right now. Also, shout out to any of my Switch players out here. Shout out to y'all. What was it? Rabbit said, I know you buy cornflakes that come with a free toy. I do too. Nah. I mean, back in the day, that was another major what's the name when they dealt with a lot of cereals. That was classic. Used to get like the watches. Oh man, like I said, a lot of my stuff is gone. I can never see a lot of that stuff ever again. Let me see. The money said Xbox. This man is a straight Xbox hair. Let me tell you something. It's always the PlayStation. It's always a PlayStation, folks. You know what? I'm actually shocked. I haven't seen Captain Sony Pony in a minute. He would be another one of the folks pulling up to the scene to stick up for Sony and PlayStation. Let me tell you, he will pull up to the scene real quick. The other thing is too. Oh, I forgot. You know what? I'm glad you said something, D Money. You just reminded me. I'm not sure if I can still get to it. Let me see, because I actually gotta. I'm not even sure if it'll work. Now let me see. Is this? I'm not even sure if it's even hooked up. Let me see something real quick. Nope, it is not. Man, where is? Wait, is it? Okay, yeah, okay, it is hooked up. But the problem with that is, I don't think my controller is actually charged. Let me see. Nope. So I actually got to plug it in. Damn. Wait, it won't charge? Okay, there we go. So it's actually a good thing that okay, PlayStation wouldn't turn on properly, whatever. I hate that it does that. But the good thing that you actually mentioned that, D Money, because there was a game that I was looking forward to play. I gotta do my passcode again because it's been a minute. What was the name of it? It was Blaze Blue. Let me see if I can find it in the store. I haven't played Tribes of Midgard in a minute. Now the problem is I forgot how to use the search on PlayStation. Okay, there we go. Let me see. Blaze Blue. This was a game I wanted to sit up there and play. I was holding back from actually buying it off of Steam because I knew it was going to come out on console pretty soon. Ah, yeah, I forgot Blasphemous as well too. Let me see. Yep, Blaze Blue, Entropy Effects. So they got it up. So when are they going to release this for Xbox? They said that they had like a limited time beta or demo directly for it, but I don't see it up here. I see the game though. Blaze Blue. So if anybody's into like some rogue light or like type of games, you could happen to look that up. If I can find it. Wait, is it all together? I think it might be all together. Hold on, let me do that. Okay, Blaze Blue Entropy. That's Calamity Trigger. Yeah, where's the demo? Like I know it was a limited like demo, but you're not gonna sit up there and tell me like the demo just was there for a few days. That's stupid. That's just ridiculous. Yep. So I guess it was. Never mind. Yeah, that was just a waste. That right there, that just hurt my feelings. Because I was going to sit up there and download that and actually play that today. Can't even do it. The other thing that I can safely say that I don't miss at this moment in time is that if you because I think me and Tippy talked about this. If we don't have PS Plus, then any games that you downloaded that were a part of PS Plus, you can't sit up and play those. So I got quite a few games. I'm looking at this. I got Helldivers up here, Arcadegeddon, Crash Bandicoot, and quite a few games directly up here. And it's like, yeah, you can't sit up and play this because you don't have PS Plus. I've got Streets of Rage. Virtua Fighter 5. Can't even do it. That's wild. And didn't I buy Tribes of Midgard? Or was that a free download? I can't even tell you. I think it might have been like a free download that was a part of PS Plus. But yeah, that's the one thing I'll say that I got an issue when it deals with PlayStation, where they'll sit up there, they still do that. Like that's just stupid. I'm not trying to. Wait, let me just make sure because maybe I might have some messages down here. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't, so I'm not missing nothing. But yeah, shout out to those PlayStation folks out there. I don't know how y'all do it because that is wild. Can't sit up there and play them boys without PlayStation Plus. I can get on my Switch right now and play some online games though. I'll tell you that one. Tippy was like, out of all the mess you said, what I'm saying is crossing the line. That is crazy. That is crazy. Mahoko said, which Blaze Blue? It's called Blaze Blue Entropy. If you look either on Steam or on PlayStation Store, you'll see it up there. I got a placeholder for it on Xbox, but I'm just waiting for it to actually show up because you know how PlayStation get down. They'll be like, we're gonna hold on to this for about like 2 or 3 years, and then later we'll sit up there and release it to the Xbox, which is crazy. And this is why I'm waiting on the whole thing with the newer Xbox to come out, because if they do have Steam directly on there, it don't even matter now. Because I'll just sit up there and I can buy it on Steam and, again, play it on the same system and not miss a beat. And then it should have cross saves directly on there because you got Steam and probably, the Epic Store and things like that directly up there. You said Central Fiction is amazing. Okay, I don't think I ever played that one. Okay. I'll check that out. Bishop says, speaking of gaming, can y'all please stop playing Grand Theft Auto 5 like it just came out so GTA 6 can come out? Best game ever, Batman Arkham Knight. The craziest part is for me, the first Grand Theft Auto that I'm actually going to sit up there and play is 6. So I was never on the hype train, so to speak. Originally I played Driver, and stuff of that nature. So when everybody else was playing, Grand Theft Auto, back when I was up there playing, Driver 1 and Driver 2. I was just sitting up there having fun with with those games and things like that. But yeah, this GTA, this is going to be like one of the largest game launches probably within this time frame, because this is going to be like, you're going to see people all over the world playing this. Like it's going to, like, it'll be to the point where you're going to see mainstream media, it's going to pull up on mainstream media. And then it's going to get to the point where people on, some podcasts and stuff, they're going to be talking about it too, and all this other stuff. Like I said, it's going to be big. It is going to be big. Like it's going to be crazy. So I ain't gonna miss out on this. Might have, I might have just sat back on the other ones there, but I ain't gonna miss out on this though. D Money said, "Yeah, I hate that about Plus. That's mainly why I still have the disc copy of games. Yeah, because that's crazy to me. Like I said, if it's on Xbox and they're like, all right, we let you download this. It was Games for Gold or whatever it is. I still got access to those games from I think from Xbox One and maybe 360 in my library from over the years. And even if I don't have what is it? Even if I don't have Ultimate or whatever it is, I can still play those games, because they were like, yo, once you download these and it's a part of the library, you got those. Now, online accessibility, if you got to play multiplayer, that's a little bit different. But I think even with Xbox, that's switched up, because if you have Core, which allows you to play, multiplayer. Let me see. With Core, are you still allowed to be in Xbox Live parties? I forgot, but they did switch it. So even on like the most basic tier, you can still do multiplayer. You might not have access to, a lot of, free games and, day one type stuff, but you can at least do that. Like I said, PlayStation, they got a lot of stuff they still got to do. They still, archaic at this moment in time, which is wild to me. Let's see, what is it? Tippy was like, yes, I win. This one right here. D Money said, I just deleted GTA 5 from my PS5. I know that was a lot of gigs right there. That's probably like over 100 gigs. Looking like Red Dead 2. My uncle said it's a fighting game. Very, very fun. Okay. I'll check that out. I will check that out. But yeah, it's crazy out here. Let me tell you something. I'm waiting for a lot of these other games, though. I am waiting. Like I said, I've been waiting for a lot of other games to come out to give me something different to play. I mean, even though I do have Steam, but Steam is a whole different beast within itself. And I still got quite a bit of games to catch up on there as well too. But yes, that is pretty much it. I ain't gonna try to keep y'all here for 4 hours though. I'm just pretty much just running my mouth talking about random stuff right now. But much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that has been a part of the live stream at this moment in time. Shout out to that's on the other channel. Shout out to the 2,133 that pulled up. If I go to the other side real quick, because I like looking directly at numbers, because I'm still thinking about that person that pulled up to the scene talking about I'm not built for this. Wild work. It's wild work. We actually, that kind of, I wish that person would come back over here so I can show them some numbers real quick, because people said I wasn't wasn't about that life or whatnot. So let me just take a look. I think I might have looked at numbers for a different live stream though. So yeah, we still doing good. Got let me see. So in total from both, we're about close to about like 7K. And actually the view duration is actually pretty beautiful, which I like too as well. So again, shout out to on the second coming channel. Shout out to the 4,676 people that pulled directly up to the scene. Much love, respect, and appreciation. This man D Money talking to Shell. That's hilarious. Shout out to Pink. Pink said hit the like button. That is bars. Also, shout out to anybody who has donated directly to the channel. Anybody who also threw any bits, or I forgot what it's called, bits or rubies or jewels directly in the comment section. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to the regulars, which the normal D Money statement. Um, Shout out to anybody who's a part of the Patreon, and to all the supporters. Anybody who just subscribed, much love, respect, and appreciation. Anybody that's been subscribed for the longest time possible, much love, respect, and appreciation as well too. Shout out to the MVPs out there. Shout out to the trolls that come through and be talking and saying all types of nonsense directly on the channel during the live streams and getting banned just every single day. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Tippy said, gaming stream, Seji, fear of fathom. And this woman always talking about some fear of fathom. You know, I don't really play horror games like that. I do not play horror games like that. Maybe one day, Tippy, maybe one day. You know, I'll get like you guys. But anyways, I will have another video directly up for you guys. I actually have it uploaded. I just got to let the live stream sit for a minute, and I'll probably post. I'll just have that video set for about like 4. I'll just make sure. Let me actually pull this back real quick. I'll just have it set for 4 o'clock, so I don't actually miss the time. So we're actually doing pretty good with the live streams as well too. You know, doing this every day. So again, shout out to y'all pulling up to the scene every day too. Y'all could be anywhere else in the world, but y'all decide to spend a little bit of time here with me. So I highly appreciate it. Thank y'all for doing that. And I will catch you guys in the next video and or live stream. Peace out. Wait, what did she say? Tippy said Remos insult Seji. No, I read them. I was reading throughout the chat. You said you didn't highlight them. They were funny. I can't highlight all of them, Tippy. You say you did it on purpose. This woman out here. Oh my God. I swear to goodness. Only Tippy. I swear to goodness. Someone then swapped her picture from like some comic books to Tippy Perfume Company. Crazy work. I see you all here, Tippy. Anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation. I'll catch you guys in the next live stream and or video. Peace out.